Hello and welcome! We are Small and Mighty, and today we're playing some D&D! We're
Yay!
back after our little break.
Hey!
How's everyone doing
Woo!
today? We all excited to get back to playing?
Yes, yes,
Very,
yes.
very.
Great. Added a lot to the last session.
Yeah. All
So
that
I'm
training
keen.
you got behind you.
You were really quite excellent last session. I mean,
I feel like
yeah,
I disappeared into the character, you know?
yeah. It was like you
100%.
weren't even there. It was just Brask. It was
So
yeah,
seamless.
yeah.
Yes. You'll probably notice that we are unfortunately missing Verity today, so she had to work, so she's not playing, so I'll be handling Christina today. But it's not all bad news, because today is a special birthday episode. We've got a couple of birthday boys in the group today. Both Will and Unai have had birthdays recently.
You remembered!
Yeah,
Yay.
no, I didn't. Will and Unai had birthdays. Unai's was a couple of days ago, and what Will's is today.
Yay!
Happy birthday, guys!
Thank you. I have cake with the 30th written on it. Oh no, it looks like it's just the zero.
the wrong
three.
date. It's the
Zero
wrong
E.
date.
This is my
Wow.
my OE.
Very
Will,
nice.
Will, that's the wrong date. It's not the 30th today. It's a bit.
Oh no! I got it so wrong.
But as a DM, I have a little present for the two of you.
Oh.
So we're not going to do our normal hero token stuff this week. Instead, both Will and Unai are going to have a hero token each. So you have one each, and obviously, you know, it's the same as always. You get a natural 20 on anything you want: ability check, saving throw, attack roll. But yes, you both have one this week to celebrate your birthdays.
The DM giveth.
Huh?
Um,
And let's hope
Unai,
he doesn't
we
take
have-
it away.
We have to make sure that we use them as irresponsibly as possible.
Yes,
That's,
please do.
yes.
Thank you,
Or
Adam.
combine-
Thank you very much.
Also, do
Can you
use them.
combine them in some sort of ridiculous, like, fastball special
Yeah.
team-up move?
Natural 40!
Wow.
We've destroyed the entire city.
Yes.
Engage nuclear bomb!
Yes. Flash forward to 3 hours' time when you guys have assassinated the Baroness.
100%.
Anyway, so yes, so we're gonna play about 2 or 3 hours like we normally do, about an hour, a short break about an hour in. But as always, it's D&D. Anything can happen, as we have found out in the past. So who knows who will stick to those times? But I'll jump us into a recap. So the brand new Small and Mighty, you went on your inaugural quest to find the missing dog. In that time, we learned that Christina has a shape-shifting jelly blob. Pebble can speak to animals. Brass doesn't understand how city life works. Chad is eager for glory and gold. Athalia is the big sister of the group, and pretty much no one in the party can control any of their magic. But importantly,
Good.
the group have begun to uncover a plot wherein gnomes and dwarves are being kidnapped across the city. But we're going to pick up kind of just after we left off. So you guys have just been rewarded. You've been given your cash money for completing the return of the dog, and also the extra bonus for returning the missing gnome. And this session in particular, it's going to be a little bit loose on time. It's a bit of a down on time-ish session. It's going to be kind of shifting across a 2-day period where we're going to sort of rejoin the timeline at the end of it. But we can kind of pick up wherever you want. I think from what you've told me, Sarah, that Tali, you want to do something at the beginning. But I just want to remind to everyone that 2 things you probably do need to sort out as things go across in this day or days is that the money you were given, you've got to split it out as per your contracts with Small and Mighty, and I can help you deal with that. And also B, that both Chad and Tali, you have injuries you probably want to be tending to in these days.
Mhm.
But other than that, take it away, guys. It's up to you. What do you want to do?
Well, if we're picking up right after we get paid,
There or thereabouts.
Harley is going to suggest we head back to the tavern to recollect ourselves and sort out whatever we need to sort out.
Yeah, good idea. Mummy always said don't count your money in public. You know, there might be ne'er-do-wells and commoners all around to, you know, people might want to take it away. We've got quite a good haul there, so yeah, let's go back to the end, yeah.
Brask agrees. Mostly just because he likes the idea of a bar right now, because we let them go. They escaped. We failed.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
dishonored our name.
As a little recap for anyone watching as well, there was 2 Nervim, I think, who escaped at the end of the fight last time. You lost track of them as Brask and Chad were running after them.
I failed.
Brask, actually, you were quite actually brilliant. I mean, yeah, we ran as fast as we could. They just disappeared. Yeah, it's all good, big chap. Don't worry too much. You're not besmirching anybody's family name. At least not yours. Whatever your family name might be, and however you might pronounce it.
Brask,
Smash the knuckles.
we saved the people. We saved the dog and we saved the man, Milosh. That's something.
It's not justice.
No, but at least now a family has been reunited.
Yeah, at least you didn't lose your temper and turn into a freak. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was great, by the way.
Pebble has like a little bit of a trauma. Yeah, it's like I'm like, thank you. I'm gonna be like a little bit scared of myself now.
I'm Pebble. You're absolute smashing young chap. You're great guy. Yeah, and I'm especially big fan of the way that you got angry and big. It was really quite something. Very, very useful. So yeah.
Brask is the same. He's like not really considered Pebble much up until this point because of Pebble's. He's so little. So now he's almost like, I see your value now.
Pebble is confused. Pebble is like, surely that was like a little bit of a hindrance because I didn't let. Oh no, actually, did I not let someone through like a door or something? Did something like that happen? Or was
You
it?
got in the way of Brask getting through the door, but that did
Yeah.
lead to Brask heroically jumping through a window. So
Fair.
swings and roundabouts.
Magic blocks the door. It opens a window, guys.
Okay. If only I
That's
could.
what Bracken saying.
Pebble, why? You don't seem to be okay. Like it.
I wish I could control what happened. Hint. Sorry. No, I wish I could. Hint for the future. But it's just like it was. I don't know. I wanted to something completely different. How would I like? Why would I want to turn like big and bulky in the middle of like a brewery? I'm a little bit upset.
Chad sort of like as just a really condescending sort of big brother type thing, sort of like goes up, puts his arm around Pebble. He's like, look, listen. Daddy, when I was being trained in the arts of war, you've seen me in action. I'm really quite something. When I was being trained, one of the main things that Daddy taught me was that things are unpredictable, and sometimes you lose control, and sometimes that you just give in to your anger and you kill 100 men. I'm sure that will happen for you, and you'll. Sorry, what?
Have you killed?
Azani is like gesturing, like like he's sad. Maybe.
I'm not sad, Tali. I'm just like. I wish I could control it. It's just that.
So you could be a more effective killing machine, you mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put people in danger potentially.
Well, I'm confident that you will be able to control what you can do. I will help you. I won't rest, and I'm not gonna let you, get out of control. I'm gonna help, and we'll figure it out.
Thank you. I'm looking that way because that's I'm seeing the layout of it. Sorry, that's very meta. Yeah. Okay.
Danger isn't so bad if it's aimed in the right direction.
Well, there's more to
discipline. Never hurt anybody unless you're directing it violently at someone.
Well, killing isn't the only option.
There is also maiming Burning,
No.
yeah.
Violence.
consuming, devouring.
Pebble is gonna interrupt. Pebble is gonna go like, "Who would like some soup?" And he's
Also, at
gonna
this point, you
run to
have
the
you have
kitchen.
kind of arrived outside of the pub at this
Yeah.
awkward
Well, yeah. I
intersection
was
of your conversation.
That's a great idea.
Because I would imagine, like, well, obviously Christina's not, like, Verity is not here, but Christina would be like a little
Christina's still with you. She's
tormented
walking
as well. So I would be like trying to amend the situation and just change the topic. It's like, I'm gonna bring us something. We're hungry, aren't we? Like,
We can all go inside and
Yes.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you
Plenty of veg in my room. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So you make your way back inside the
Well,
Five Fellows
I
pub.
will make a point that Tali is probably using her glaive as basically like a crutch
Mhm.
because she does have
Oh
a,
yeah, that.
Yes,
a
you have
limp.
a limp. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, as well for Will and Sarah on your character sheets in D&D Beyond, I've added a thing that says what your injury is and how to repair it.
Where is it?
It'll be under your feet because I have to add it as a custom feat.
Okay.
So that's where you'll find it. But yes, you're
Characters have
limping. But,
no feet now.
yeah, I mean, Tali might need that. So you make your way into the Five Fellows pub, and again, it's just kind of rot wood, dreary, falling apart place. And as you enter, getting now, it's kind of you're a couple hours away from maybe like sunset. It's getting towards the evening, the sort of the late end of the afternoon. And as before, there is a small spattering of people in the pub, customers. You can still see sat at the exact same table where you left him, that aged man Dimitri with these sort of grey forearms, just slowly and vacantly eating a bowl of soup once again. You can see Bouchard still perched in the table and seems to be reading again a newspaper to him. Maybe a different newspaper this time. You can see the headline on it says that there is, in big writing, that there is fears about an Ica shortage in the city.
About a what shortage? Sorry.
Ica.
Nika.
Ica. Ichor. Ica. Or Ica, how you pronounce it. Which, if you're interested in, you can roll me Arcana checks to see what you know about
Yeah,
it.
what does this? Yeah, I'll have a
Go
little
for it.
go at that. Arcana. 8.
Anyone else rolling? Or was it just Sarah?
Yeah. Well, I guess Pebble can roll. Oh shit. 13. No.
13.
16. And also.
16.
For
Okay.
some reason, my Google Chrome made this sound.
Chad does not know about it. We'll just leave that there.
Fair enough.
Brask still doesn't understand
No, it's
why
fine.
people keep looking at bits of paper.
And
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
Brass can't read, so you wouldn't be able to know what's on it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, Pebble. It's something you've heard about. Being that you are from Brattonshire, but although you're actually not from the city, you obviously come here from a small, like farming community. It's something you've heard about, but you're not super familiar with. Ica is a black oily substance that is dug up from the sea, apparently. These boats go out to the oceans and they dredge it up from the bottom of the sea, and this is this dark, oily substance that is, when used in and burnt, it can be used as fuel to power machines.
Okay.
But that's all you know about it from your limited life experience. If you spent more time in the city, you might have known more, but unfortunately not. But anyway, this paper says that there's fears of an Ica shortage in the city. Anyway, but yeah, looking around, you just see, again, a small spattering of patrons, and that's it. What are you gonna do?
Brask will just
No,
Go
go.
Brask will just go find a corner to sit in, sort of hunched, gigantic in the chair, and then he's just going to pull out his hive and put it on the table in front of him and just sort of talk to it.
Yeah, so you'll watch as Brass pulls out his beehive, which he still has apparently.
How does the rest of the pub react to that?
That's a good question. You probably see that what very few patrons were nearby Brass, where he's gone to set, they get up and go walk to another table on the other side of the bar. that old guy Dimitri
We've lost.
pulling his paper.
Hey,
Cox and I.
You,
And
you,
then-
you kind of hang on. You
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
like
Say
froze,
again.
and then so
What
you
happened?
went-
Did Dimitri do?
what's
Nothing.
Dimitri do?
Dimitri did nothing.
All right.
But I said, Bachard, you watch as Bachard sits there with his newspaper and he kind of curves down the corner, peers over at you, Brass, and then goes. puts it back up.
Yes.
The bees are all pretty friendly and tamed now, so they might just be like on my shoulder and all sorts of
How
stuff. Like I'm
many
just
are we
playing with
thinking?
them.
How many?
They're
A
like sea
hive, a
monkeys.
swarm,
Yes.
How many is that? Like, I'm in
I
culture
don't know,
in real life.
a couple of hundred.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably a couple
wow.
hundred.
Okay.
Probably more than that, but yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
100 plus, definitely.
Some bees.
He's got a quantity of bees.
Yeah.
Big
A certain
bag full
number of bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cha-
Some bigness of bees.
Yes.
Some bigness.
Chan's gonna walk in. Chan's gonna walk in alongside everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Bachard. Hey, yeah, old chap. Yeah, got some good news and bad news. Good news is we did it and it's all good and everything's fine. Bad news is I'm pretty banged up. Tali's pretty banged up. We need some soup and also medical care. So yeah, chop chop. Thank you very much.
You see,
What he means is
Yeah.
we'll go find ourselves a table. Would you mind bringing some servings of soup if there's any left? Please?
I can help cook.
you see as you kind of bombarding him with this information before he has a chance to respond.
What just happened?
You watch as he puts the paper down, like kind of folds it, puts it down, like, so, you done already?
Yeah.
There's this kind of pause on his face, and you just see this kind of look of confusion that quickly turns into astonishment. Just like, so you found the dog?
And her father,
And
who was also.
And the bees.
daddy boy.
Yeah.
And oh fuck me!
Oh,
I'd rather not, thank you.
I'll tell you what. No, you don't, fuck soup. I think this calls for a celebration. Hey, you
On,
guys have genuinely done. You see, he kind of, although obviously he had a level of faith in you, sending you on this mission. There is this almost bewilderment about how quickly you've done this, and you can see.
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah,
'Cause,
absolutely,
Like,
go for it.
it's not a job. It's what Tali is
Yeah.
thinking. So,
Yeah, well, an insight check, please do. Anyone else can as well as they would like to.
Nah, Pebble is
Yeah,
like,
go on.
I want to make soup. I want to help
Oh.
in the kitchen.
Brask is enjoying the praise
Is he, or will he?
and the bees.
That's interesting.
That's
I
a
thought he would
six.
like negate.
6, okay.
I got a 15.
15, okay. So,
Oh.
Chad, you don't get much beyond the surface level of there's a level of praise coming towards you, and you kind of don't read beyond that.
Your ego, into the
Yep,
waves.
I mean, we're great. I'm
Yeah.
great. I mean, we're fantastic together, led by me, and yeah, of course, it was wonderful.
Tali, you kind of, reading between the lines, it's yes, this is obviously this was your job, you expected it, but what you're getting from Bachand is this almost pride, almost like he's proud that you were able to go out and help people so quickly, and you wonder if there was. You're kind of intimately aware that what Bachard was trying to do is almost revive an old, well-known mercenary company. Small and Mighty was these heroes of the realm, and he's trying to bring that back. And although he obviously recruited you and had faith in you to do the job, you think there's a level of like, oh shit, these guys actually might be able to be heroes of the realm. And he might have been able to bring that back. It's what you're getting from him.
I see. Okay.
You see, he's standing. I was like, no, we're not. I don't think super do. We have to get some good food in. Oh, we're going to get some drinking food, and I think we need. I think it's called for a party, a celebration. And you can see this the amount of life has just come back into this.
Well, Bachard, we do need to sort out the payment, so we could.
You are right. I'm getting carried away. Yes, money.
We
That makes
could
sense.
use some of that for a celebration if we want.
No. I mean, I'll take a cut of it anyway. That can go to celebration. I'm not. You keep your wages. I'm not going to eat into that. This is on me. It's a celebration for deeds well done.
Works for me, yeah.
As long as I can
I
help
get to
in the
keep my
kitchen,
I
I'm
get to
happy.
keep my money, and I get to celebrate. Absolutely smashing.
He points to you, Pebbles, like, yeah, if you want to help in the kitchen, amazing. You
Yes.
got to help. Helga's only got 2 pairs of hands, and she's a bit. She could do without. If you want good food, yeah,
Cool.
go for it.
Nice.
Let's talk money.
Pebble should be here for that too.
Oh, okay.
You can see that Bertrand is almost like losing himself in like this moment of like, what do I
Tali
fucking
is
do?
gonna go and sit down and like gesture, like let's get a table.
Yeah. Bertrand starts to kind of like, yeah, let's get a table. One is in the corner. Let's go over here. And he
Leaning
sort
on
of
her
brings you.
glaive.
Onto my bees remove.
Okay.
Just gather them into the hive next to me.
It's like, as long as they're well behaved, bring them over. Well, you've caught me in a good mood. So you
Good.
gather around this table, and I'll let Tali take the lead on this. You have the money.
Yeah. So okay, we earned some money from doing our contract. We did get more than expected. We did agree to pay you I think 25%. Is that right?
Yeah, 25% of the contract comes to me, and then you each get 15%.
Mm-hmm. So I think we should start by just giving you 25% of the everything we earned. If anybody has any objections.
So how much? The job was for 250. So how much did you actually end up with?
500.
All right, double. All right. I mean, I'll be frank. The contract was for 250. I'm not going to rob you of any additional money you did for doing a good job.
Well,
So up to you. Like, I'm also not going to say no if you want to put the whole 500 up and I get 25% of that. I'm a fair man. You signed a contract and that was for 250 divided by that. The ways I see it, that extra 250, that's for you to figure out what to do with.
Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, yeah, clearly, a savvy businessman. You write a contract. You abide by your contract. You're quite right, Bertrand. Stand up, chap.
But I will also say, like, any additional money comes to me goes towards improving the pub, improving your accommodations. I can also bank stuff to help you buy equipment in the future if you need it.
so I was Tali was me. I was thinking, the more money we give to Bertrand, the better our lodgings are. So I think we should share everything.
Pebble's gonna step in and it's like, I mean, but Charles, don't be so humble. Like, if it weren't for you and your skills selecting us, we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't have gone on adventures. You wouldn't have. Someone else might not have given me an opportunity.
Fair point.
25% then.
All right.
Yours.
So Adam will do some quick maths in my little spreadsheet I made.
How
for
is
this.
Chad? How is Chad reacting to this?
Good point.
Chad's like Okay, here's what we'll do. Okay, we've got our contract. Yeah, Bertrand, you're a man of your word. Contracts are binding documents. We've all signed it. We're all in agreement
sign.
about that. That is.
Well, we didn't.
Sign in the the metaphorical sense. What we should do is perhaps drop a secondary contract for what we do with additional money and what Bertrand can do with that money. When it goes to improving our lodgings and things. And maybe that should just be put that in writing. That's just the way it goes. That's how business works.
But the money was always going to be used to improve the lodgings.
Yeah, but it'd be. Yeah, I'd certainly feel a lot better if it was in writing that's definitely where it's going to go. Bertrand, I trust you. Clearly, you're a man of excellent taste, and you know how to surround yourselves with excellent people. Mummy always taught me to just be really really on it with sticking to contracts and making sure things are in writing.
Appreciate your attention to detail, Chad, but I did state that the 25% goes to the tavern to improve your lodgings. So that was stated up front.
It's in
Well,
the.
I
you know,
definitely heard that. That's the important thing. Yeah.
It was to pay for your bed and board and to improve the tavern generally, which also improves, might even bring more customers, which brings more money to the tavern, which then creates more money for you. And ultimately, I didn't say this at the beginning because I want to make sure you were, capable. But the whole point of this tavern was as a base of operations for the original Small and Mighty. The tavern brings in revenue, which then goes towards a bank to be used towards equipment, whether that be armor or I don't know if you need to buy a boat someday. Now, like I said before, we don't have a lot of money because gestures generally to the Weather Worn Tavern. But if it could get back on its feet again, that might be possible.
I'd like it noted that Brask is nodding along and listening intently, but understanding nothing.
Yes, I love that.
As far as he was aware, he was getting 15 silver. 15%. He doesn't know what a percent is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Percent,
Chad-
septs, same sort of word.
Yeah.
Chad
And
did
then he doesn't care.
Chad did make Tali think of an interesting idea though. So, an emergency fund. We could, put a bit of the money we earn away, each of us, like some of our cut, into a shared pool, bank, sum, which we could use for, if we need to take transport to do our contracts or equipment for any of us. If we save a little bit each time, it shouldn't be. We'll have it when we need it. I don't know what everybody else thinks.
What she
I
said.
don't think the tavern has a pool.
No, that's right. That's right.
But with enough money, no.
Okay, we'll
we're saying that
create a
we-
pool.
We can have a pool. I mean, I love I love a pool. I'm in. I'm in.
No, a shared sum of money.
Yeah,
That-
I'm in. So that we can buy a pool. 100%.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's not
Yeah.
what. That's not.
So
what
we
Tali
can buy
meant.
equipment, better weapons and armor, and if we need to do travel, it means it won't come out of our own
Yeah.
personal expenses.
And the pool. Yeah. Like I said, I'm in. Brask and I
Tali
want
looks
to go swimming in the pool.
surprised.
That's,
She's
yeah.
surprised at Chad's cooperation, but she's not complaining.
No, but I mean, Pebble is trying to explain Chad what the pool means.
Yeah,
But
listen,
since-
nautical. I come from a nautical.
Yeah, that's.
we say
Pep-
nautical, but bodies of water, absolutely. Yeah, fine. We can save towards that. That's what we're going to use.
Bodies
that
in the
for.
water.
Fine. I mean, I guess if you're okay with it, that's fine. Pebble
Just to
is
throw a
annoyed
few
at
numbers
this
in there
point.
just to make maybe this conversation a bit easier. So if you're taking the 500 steps and dividing it as per your contract, the tavern gets 125 of that, and then each of you should get 75 steps each. And if obviously if you want to make a pool out of that, then you can divide that down further. But yeah, basically, at the very least, Burchard gets 125 steps.
Can Pebble be cute? I'm sorry, this is like a little bit vain now.
Pebble's
but
always cute. What are
Oh.
you talking about?
Pebble takes out his pair of leather shoes and silver snuff box that he found, and he's like, "Oh, we also found this."
You see Burchard looking like. I mean, you could probably sell that at somewhere like a pawn shop. I don't know.
So this doesn't count for the. Okay, thank you.
I don't know. He points down to the peg leg like, I don't really need a pair of shoes. I'm alright.
Okay. Does Pebble need a pair of shoes?
You know, if you want
Probably.
'em.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway.
You can't have the bees either.
Oh.
Oh no! What a shame. Oh, I'll
No.
survive. I will survive.
And just for the
Sorry,
record,
I have to draw the line somewhere.
Fair enough. I'll respect your boundaries.
and just for the record, I didn't find anything else extra on the journey. So
Thank you for your report there, Chad.
just so
So-
everyone knows.
Just to get back on track. The shared sum of money. I'm happy to leave it with Burchard if everyone else's, or I can keep it.
I'm happy.
Butchard, Birchie,
Birch.
what's the Jack? What's the most secure location you have here in this here bubble? I know that you had some trouble from the Suns. I want to know you've got somewhere that can really look after our money.
Well, I got a strong box. Don't worry. It's where I keep all the cash for all the coffers for the pub. But I mean, the Suns, they're not robbing the place. They're the rent collectors. They come for the money. That's kind of part of the agreement, unfortunately.
Right, yeah.
But
They seem like the kinds of guys who probably would resort to that kind of scummy behaviour.
Yeah, something I'm intimately aware of is that, and if we do get more popular, I'll need to keep an eye on them because. But yeah, no, I do have lock boxes and etc.
I got
Okay, yeah.
Tally, I don't think it's a secret anymore. Like, I think we all know magic. Is there anything you could do to protect the chest even more, if you'd like to? Because I don't have. Yeah. I probably have never seen a lock in my life, or never had.
Possibly. Tali will think,
Oh,
and
think.
I'll see what I can
There are a couple of spells that can do this sort of thing, but they might be a little bit higher level for you at this stage.
So I think if we all put in 10 steps or 15
fine.
each for like a personal like an emergency fund, I think that'd leave us with
I'm
decent
happy with
amount.
whatever.
Yeah.
Each of us, that's 1, 2, 3.
So hang on, wait.
That's 50 already. If we do 10 each.
So if we do 10 each, and it was how many for 75 originally? So that's
75, yeah.
so 65.
We have 65.
We had 65 silver, right?
Yes.
Cool.
So you're giving Butchard the 125 plus 50. Yeah,
Well, so it's going to be 55. Tali will give 15.
that's fine.
herself.
So
Oh.
that's fine. Let's do 125 plus 50. 55. That's fine.
Tally gives the 15 without Pebble noticing, or with Pebble noticing?
Good question.
55 silver.
She probably wouldn't hide it.
Okay.
It depends on how observant Pebble is, really, because like you're all kind of
Or
sliding
perception,
points.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, roll perception, because you're sliding coins across the table, so it might go unnoticed, but might not.
Oh my
I
god.
do remember also saying, Sarah, that you were, because obviously Burchard did give you some money at the beginning of your first
Yeah, she is
venture.
returning that too.
I rolled
Okay, so you-
I rolled a 5 with everything added, so yeah, Pebble doesn't notice. Okay.
You don't know.
Like,
So you're giving-
but Chad, yeah, this is the change we had from your starting.
You're also giving the.
Oh,
50
Actually,
back.
I don't remember how much change it was.
It was
Sorry, go ahead.
so it was 50. You gave. You bought a
We
net,
bought net.
which was a gold or 2 gold.
Was
What?
I'll tell you what, I'll figure
I
out
don't
later.
remember.
You return his money to him. It's fine. I'll figure out later.
Yes.
In the same way that Tali is secretly given more, Chad is gonna subtly just like squish it and hand over 5.
Oh.
instead of 10.
Roll me
Can I-
a sleight of hand check.
Can I
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
perception?
Yes.
This will probably.
Please, I gotta know.
To be honest, it's probably more likely to be into your passive perception.
Yeah, 5.
Oh dear. Fight.
Okay.
I think
No,
your
no.
passive perception is higher than that, so you would spot.
Question time as well. Pebble had 1 second. I have to figure it out because I've already added it. So I've just added. No,
Was that
I've added
super
it wrong.
obvious to everybody at the table?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Chad's attempt to put less money. Well, basically, Chad did. You watch Chad put down 10 coins, and then go, yeah, take away 5 of them, and then
Chad?
slide it across like.
Chad,
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you missed some of your chef.
This is cringe. I love it.
Oh, he's gonna sort of like look on the floor. Did you see where it fell? Yeah. I didn't hear anything fall.
No, I think it's in your hand.
Oh no!
He's gonna pick up his left hand. He's like, no, empty. What are you getting at? I think if you'll look there should be the right amount of money.
There will be, but not because of you.
Ooh,
Right, yeah, because I put in the right amount of.
No.
I put in the right.
one second. How would Pebble react to this? Go on. Pebble would be like astonished at this point. Pebble would be like, can we start being honest?
Can I do another sleight of hand check to see if I can while he's having this conversation with Tali, see if I can put that money back into my pocket?
You can, but with
Rightly.
disadvantage because you're
Yep,
being
yep.
scrutinized.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tyler, you can make an active perception check now because
Yes, please.
you are
That's
sitting there. paying
Just a token.
Oh, that's a what? No, what? Sorry, what was your perception check first?
Perception check was 23.
23. No, okay. There are two numbers here. Which one's bigger? Is it 23 or is it 2?
Chad, you try and like subtly behind your back swap the coins to a different hand, and you just drop them on the floor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There it is. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I dropped it. Because
You want to hand it over?
you've got future powers. I can see. Yeah.
Wanna
Yeah.
then,
Okay.
hand it over
Yeah.
to Bertrand, Chad?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. And he's gonna hand out. He's gonna sort of lean over to Dahlia and just be like, yeah. Fair enough.
Another thing. Pebble had 5 silver and 3 copper. I think that was for the buns or the rolls or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Or did I start with something or did I start with silver?
No, you were given a silver by Tali to buy buns, and that was a change from the buns. So
One
you should keep
silver.
it. You were given 1 silver to buy buns, and you bought. They would cost 1 copper. It's fine. That's your change for the buns.
Why did I have 5 silver before adding the rest? Anyway.
You might have given him more because she didn't know. Oh, I don't know. I don't think she did.
It's
It's
just,
alright.
whatever. It's fine. It doesn't
I'm
matter
guessing
much.
then in my inventory, the money that I actually had was 32 steps. I could just get rid of that because I gave that back to Bertrand
Yeah.
and then put in the yeah.
Yeah.
I returned the 3 copper. I returned the
Yeah,
3
that's fine.
copper because I'm like that.
Yeah. Cool.
Um,
Okay. So you square out the money between you and Chad. Do you eventually give over the correct amount of money?
Yep.
Given into peer pressure. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, giving into Tali pressure. That's the yeah.
Tali, yeah,
Brask has
sits back
paid
and
no
sits
attention.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like if he has money in front of him,
He
he
gets
hasn't
his
picked it up
share.
yet.
Does
Yeah.
does Brass take his share, or do you just leave it on the table in front of you?
He will eventually, but it's
Okay.
in no way a priority for him.
Okay, that's fine.
is this money?
Brass, we're all putting in 10 of these extra so we can buy equipment.
Oh.
She kind of tries to get him to push them towards. She doesn't want to take them. Like just
Brask is just like he's just got his beehive in his hand. He's not looking up from it.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever.
Like a
Okay.
kid on the Game Boy when Jimmy's in front
Whoa.
of the boy. Yeah, no, I'll get to it, Mum.
It's just like
You
the
want
shapes
more?
are amazing.
Yes.
So many
So
hexagons.
Okay, Tali will just take these brass and she just takes 10 and then puts it with bush.
Yeah.
Cool.
You watch
So,
Bertrand
wait.
kind of like.
Right. How much do I actually have then?
60. Oh no, sorry, 70, 65.
65 silver
Okay,
pieces.
cool. That was what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan does have to pay attention, even if Brass doesn't. But anyway, okay. Yes. So you sort out the money. What you watch is you see Bachard. He had a little almost like tin with him. He puts the coins in there. You watch as he walks away. He goes behind. He goes into the sort of upstairs and into the back rooms, and you see him return a little bit. A couple of minutes later, having deposited it somewhere. But he returns. He's like, "All right, well that's all squared up now. So I think we need to get get a celebration started, don't we? I think."
Well, I do. So, Tali, so we found a note at the warehouse, suggesting there was a meeting tonight among the people, the rat people who kidnapped poor Milosh, and we have
What, the Nervim?
Yes.
Oh, so they were involved in this, were they?
It seems so. They were transporting Milosh, the gnome man.
Wait, so this wasn't just like a dog who ran away down the street somewhere?
No.
He sits back down and goes like, maybe you should fill me in the details. Maybe this is just sounds a bit bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it's pretty much as the dog ran to find the dad, Milosh. He was captured by these Nervim, and they were transporting them somewhere. We caught them in time, but they got away.
You watch as he kind of
through
grabs
a window.
He grabs the newspaper and flips a few pages, and you see he turns it to a page which is like a small article talking about how gnomes and dwarves are going missing. It's like, yeah, there's been some rumblings about. You reckon the Nervim are involved then?
Mm-hmm.
No one seems to know who's doing it. He kind of skim reads this article like, yeah, people are trying to figure out, but no one knows what's happening. There's been a couple of cases, like 1 or 2 disappear a week. Started about a month or 2 ago.
Either way, it seems to be them, and they're having a meeting somewhere secret tonight at midnight, and we have to find them. We could, save others. We could find out who's really behind all this. Maybe the Nervim are working for somebody. We can't just let this opportunity pass us.
Tali, show him the picture thing. The
Technically,
On
Tali wouldn't
the-
have that. It probably would have been Christina. Because I like the idea that you're pointing at Tali, assuming Tali would have it.
yes, yeah.
Christina's like, Chad, do you mean this? And she pulls out the
Oh, yeah,
letter
yeah.
with the-
Yeah, oh, Christina, you're here too. You're still here. Birchie, do you recognize this at all?
It also might be the first time that Tali that you probably are seeing this, and Pebble probably. You see this image of like a rose with a dagger behind it. But Chard's gonna have a look at that, and he's gonna roll a check. He rolled pretty high, so he looks at it and like, takes off like. Tell you what, actually, I do recognise this. She tries to almost trying to work out why he recognises it, and he just sort of turns around. He's like, "This is the emblem of the Messers."
Yeah, of course. We all know exactly who you mean, Birchie. What don't you?
Wait, who are they?
The Messers.
Who-
Well,
Right,
we certainly messed them up. Yeah. But yeah, assuming that people might have forgotten who these are, I mean, we all know obviously who you mean. But could you just remind us?
we do?
I'll put it in chat so you can see the name. But so he continues he kind of does just continue telling the story. Like they're I don't know too much about them. They're not. Well, they're from your place, Chad. They're Riverdanian. They're I think they're like a spy organization. There's something weird about them. I'm trying to. That was it. They're an independent organization. They don't actually they're a spy organization, but they don't work for the government. They're just they act in the best interest of Riverdan. That was it. That's how they put it.
So they work for Riverdan?
They work for Riverdan, but I think they believe they're above the government. They kind of they're an extremist group, I think, is the way you'd put it. I ain't seen the. Oh, they shouldn't have any business in Branchir. They're a foreign organisation.
Did Chad do a history check about the symbol last time?
You did, Chad, and you didn't place the symbol, but something about it reminded you of home.
That's the one. Would it be worth, now that I know it's the word messes, worth doing another history check?
Yeah, I'll let you roll. I'll let you roll with advantage.
Ooh.
Since this is triggering your memory, like the word and then a bit about the organisation.
That's an 18.
18, amazing. Okay. So yes, it's starting to flood in now. Like this is something that you'd heard from your parents and kind of ignored it for a while, but it's kind of stuck there in the back of your head. So the Messers are, as Burchard is saying quite rightly, they are an independent, like intelligence organisation, but they do not have government oversight. Essentially, they were set up by a couple of decades ago. Someone in the Riverdanian government basically declared themselves king for a little while, and tried to, because the world you're in, the continent of Arnhem, is split into several different regions called baronies, but it used to be a kingdom before a volcano exploded and destroyed the main seat of power. Riverdan always considered themselves to be above everyone else, and this one person, he was originally the prime minister, declared himself king and basically tried to conquer the neighboring kingdoms. He was shut down and ultimately killed for it. And then since then, everyone who's been in charge of Riverdan has fallen into line with the balance of power between the different baronies. The Messers, who are actually named after that guy who called himself king, believe that he was right, and they believe that Riverdan should rule. So they are an organization who are privately funded by various nobles and such from Riverdan, and they act in what they believe to be the best interests of the country, despite the fact that the government officially declare them a terrorist organization. And the reason why you particularly, Chad, remember this is that your dad is a funder of them.
Yep.
He sends them contributions to keep them funded.
So Chad's gonna have it's like, from Riverdan, you say? I mean, yeah. Stands to reason that I should know about them. I'm very, very strange. I've never even heard the word. Yeah, that's really odd.
You don't know anything that could help?
Yeah, no, nothing. No, there's yeah, very strange. Yeah, you'd think that I'd have some. Yeah, I'm a knowledgeable man, wealthy, powerful parents. No, not come across this at all.
Yeah, the king was called Erdinand Messer, was the king of Riverdan, the first and only king of Riverdan, and after that, all barons and prime ministers fell in line with the balance of power, and the Baronies Alliance, as it's called.
Yep.
Well, do we know anywhere they could be having a secret meeting? Like, do you know where the Nervim typically frequent? What area of the city?
The Nervin, they're pests. They live in the sewers. They live in abandoned basement buildings. Like they're not organized.
Well, this particular group must be, because they're having it.
Yeah, well, that's news to me. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't be able to point you to anyway in particular, unfortunately. If you want to go rooting around the sewers,
Are there any parts of the city? I mean, I think we've all been here for a little while. But, maybe we've only stated the nicer sides of the city. Are there any areas that generally kind of run down, but which have connections? Like sort of like old docky areas, that type of thing. That
like of abandoned buildings.
As you're saying that, Burchard looks at you with a look of this is like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, this is that section of the city, Chad.
Right, yeah.
Low Bank is the rundown section of the city that has ties to criminal organizations. He just towards the door for some reason. Like, why do you think we have people like the Sant Brothers coming in, our rent collectors?
Oh, but this is lovely. It's lovely here. You know, you've got fine stuff. Don't talk down about your area. You know, this is a fine, lovely area.
He
Yeah.
looks at you, Tali, just like, really? This guy?
You just
Brass
look,
happily agrees.
Is there, Bachad, you work in the area. Do you know, are there any, like, what abandoned buildings are in the area? I know that's a big question, but if we could, know of a few of them, we could maybe scout those out this evening.
I mean, you walk 5 minutes in any direction, you're going to find some. If you head east of here, you go into the smokestacks. That's the factory district. There's probably some abandoned factories down there. You walk north of here, you got some of the more cul-de-sacs. I'm sure maybe none of them abandoned. There's probably loads of pubs like this which have gone out of business and abandoned. Really couldn't point you to a place.
Okay, well let's think about it, right? They were taking people in barrels, in beer barrels. They were loading them into a. Was it a normal cart they loaded them into, or was it like a branded cart?
No, it was a normal car.
Okay.
The barrels were branded, but it was a normal car.
We've still got the car outside, I think.
Yes, you would technically have the car outside, yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess it just looks like a mystery that can't be solved. Then I guess best just believe it. You know.
Well,
Unsolvable. These messes guys sound like the clear, completely ne'er-do-wells. I say we celebrate and turn in.
taking 1 or 2 people a week, Chad. You can stay here if you want, but Tali, I'm at least going to go and try and find where they may be meeting this evening.
I'm going with Daddy too.
You see sort of like, despite the circumstance, this kind of small grin goes on Burchard's face, like, you lot don't stop working, do you?
Not when people's lives are at stake, Bachad.
I'm not criticizing it, I'm just... I'm trying to think what you could do.
There's a chance maybe if the people, if none of them, well, they got away, so there's a chance they could still show at their meeting. There's also a chance maybe one of them will come back to the brewery.
Would there be any money involved if we did follow this up? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to tag along, but you know,
I mean, this isn't in the contract. You're doing this for your own backs if you're doing this, but that's not to say, you know, if you can return more people to their families, you might get a reward. The guard might pay you. It points to the newspaper, like the newspaper might pay you if you give them a story. But I can't put a number on this. This isn't.
Yeah, there's no direct money, Chad, but like Bachad said, maybe if we find out who's behind the kidnappings, that's the guard, the law enforcement. Yeah, that's it's probably quite a big case for them, right? If you. Yeah.
Yeah. As a relatively compelling, I suppose. Just seems like maybe it's not worth it.
Maybe not. We might not find anything, but I'm gonna try.
Maybe not that. I know Chad's sentiment might be right, just not the reason why, but this might be a loose end, a dead end even. What might be worthwhile doing is trying to figure out where they're stealing people from and trying to cut them off next time. They could be anywhere in the city. Like, you could... What is it? You said it was midnight tonight, I mean, like, you could check 100 places and still not find them. Maybe it's more about trying to figure out how they're striking. Like, did the gnome you rescued, Milos, did he say anything about where he was taken from?
I think he did. Let me
He did.
find
Oh, I
if
don't
my...
remember.
If you don't remember, I can tell you, but...
Wait.
Gonna test your note-taking skills.
Yeah. That's probably bad.
Yeah, my notes area is completely empty.
That's fine.
While
No, he did say, I don't know where he was taken from, but he did say he was being fed.
Yeah, he was being
None of
fed.
him fed him, which is kind of suspicious.
He said he was snatched as soon as he left work in the smokestacks, which is a factory district to the east of you.
Interesting.
have we mentioned perchance the other gnome lady who was also captured?
There was a dwarf. There was a
Dwarf.
dwarf
Oh,
lady.
yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
True.
Have we mentioned her to him yet?
I mean, he did say that the dwarves and gnomes have been still. He looked at the newspaper article that said dwarves and gnomes. So, but obviously you can mention it.
Yeah. Yeah. There was it wasn't just the gnome man. There was a dwarf lady there as well. Yeah. She was tattooed, I believe.
Did
Unless
they catch her name?
it was quite dark. We didn't really. Did anybody catch anything else about her? She kind of ran off. Very
Wanted
rude.
to go home.
Did
He had
anyone
shaved
catch her
hair,
name?
shaved hair with tattoos on it, and I think she told you she was a blacksmith. I might be misremembering, but she's a blacksmith. I'll let you have that information for free if not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blacksmiths
you-
typically work in the factory district, or are they kind of scattered throughout?
Oh, blacksmith is kind of a funny one because it's a bit of an older tradition, and it's kind of dying out to the factory districts. There's like ironmongers and all sorts up in the machines doing that work for a lot of them, but maybe it's a bit of a 50-50 that one.
Where did Milos work? I don't know. I think we
He said he worked in the
mines
factory.
or the
No, he worked in the factory in the
Oh,
factory
okay.
district.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was taken from, as he said, when he left one of the factories, he was taken on his way back home.
Milos
There's,
also yes. Jen?
Sorry. No. Go ahead.
Well, Milos said the Nervin were feeding him, and he worked in the factory, so likely fairly strong. And the dwarf woman was a blacksmith, so again, physically strong. So it seems like they have a type.
Yeah. That's a very good. I hope you're not going where I think you're going with that, Tali. But yeah. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that. These factories, the smokestacks and things. Yeah, is this where your friend, your old gentleman friend, same place he worked?
Yeah, Dimitri. Well, he's been let go. He just looks over the room, and you can still see Dimitri there, just slowly eating this. You're not even sure if it's the same bowl of soup from this morning or not, but he's still eating soup. Like, yeah, Dimitri worked in one of the factories in the smokestacks until they let him go.
Right. Yeah.
Did I try communicating with him, or what was our last encounter with him?
You didn't. Brass did a little bit.
Oh.
You got
I
nothing
think
out of it.
Tali detected magic, didn't she? I think I have some.
I think you tried, but you didn't get anything.
Yeah.
I suppose Pebble can't cast Speak with Animals because this is.
No, you
not-
can. You
I
can.
mean-
I don't know if it'll help you in this
Yeah,
situation.
but that wouldn't help. Right?
You can try it.
I don't want to. Oh no, but it doesn't take
It's
as
free.
lot.
It's free for you.
It's
It's your
free.
innate ability.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Uh,
As soon as you cast Speak of Animals, what you hear is like home, ooh, new home, we like, yeah, woo! As you hear the hive of bees cheering and whooping from a table across you, just like,
Boy.
woohoo!
okay.
Yeah, we like this, yeah, woohoo!
But then wasn't I able to direct this spell?
No, you just hear animals
Damn
that
it.
hear you.
Okay.
You could walk away from the bees. Some of them
Yes.
are just shouting the word bee. You're like, bee, bee, bee.
Oh,
bee.
it's like Pokemon.
Oh, they're trying to spell Brask.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna walk towards. I'm gonna try ignoring them and walk towards Dimitri.
So you go to Dimitri. Okay, yeah. So you can approach him. He doesn't respond. He just stays there again. This sort of shriveled, withered man. You remember Bachar telling you last time that this guy, although he looks like he might be sort of 70 or 80, he said it was like under 40. Something he was rapidly aged, I guess, and has these kind of like grey toned arms.
Mm. And I say hello. And I got nothing, right? And I go.
You return back to Bachar.
Yes. And I uncast the spell. Better. I wish I could
Yeah.
give Dimitri
Well,
Snickers spell.
Pebble. Look on the bright side. At least you stayed the right size. So that's really what matters here. But maybe if you went really big, maybe it would shock him into talking.
Ah, do it.
The what?
They're trying to encourage you to turn big again.
But I can't control
It's
that.
okay, Pebble. It's okay, Pebble. It's fine. Look, let's just. Okay. I'm Tali, going to go to the factory district this evening and scout out. Maybe I find something, maybe not. But I'm gonna try.
Pebble's gonna visibly be worried about Tally's illness. And like, but Tally, you're like, we have to fix you.
This might be the only chance we have for a while. I'll be careful. You can come with me.
Okay.
Make sure I don't, nothing happens. It won't be too long. We'll just go and see what we can find.
Can Pebble use the healer's kit to better Tally's stuff?
Yeah.
Or-
So I'll explain the mechanics here for your injury. So particularly with the 2 injuries you've got, and it's not the same for all injuries, but for your 2 injuries, they can be healed through a few means. Let me just find the notes on this. Okay, so so once per day, someone can tend to the injury and make a DC 13 medicine check, and after 3 successes, it's healed. Or it can be healed instantly if it receives magical healing cast at a 3rd level or higher. So, alright, you don't have access to magic healing at that level yet, so...
I did use healing hands on it,
Mhm.
so I don't know if that counts for that today or.
Fortunately not, so it doesn't
That's fine.
affect it. But I will say that Pebble or anyone else, you can attempt to use medicine checks to help both Chad and Tali's injuries.
I did use during the battle. I did use the healer's kit, but if it doesn't,
Yeah, what I'm going to say is about like resources and stuff like that. Anyway, while you are here in the city and kind of moving about, I'm not actually that worried about things like food, water, ammo, resources.
No.
If you ever go venture into the wilds outside the city, then I'm going to start caring about like what your food sources are and stuff like that. So as far as your charges and your med kit, don't worry about it for now.
Cool. So the healer's kit
But-
is fine. Right.
Yeah, hit it's fine. But for this, you need to make a medicine check.
Cool. I make a medicine check on Tally,
Yes.
and it's
Tali is suggesting
10.
that we relax. We have food. We have a short rest,
Okay.
if you will, and then the evening is when they'd go.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
cool. So, yep.
What do you get?
10.
10. Okay. So that is not a success,
Good.
unfortunately.
That's fine, yes. Good. Sad.
So you try to mend it up, and it's you're obviously bandaging the leg and stuff, and it's not like it isn't helping. It's not making it worse, but unfortunately, it's not a success this day. So you'll have to try again the next day. Okay. It feels like we're transitioning a little bit more into this kind of downtime-ish kind of stage. So who wants to do what? So let's kind of start to open up this, or like Chad has obviously mentioned having a bit of a celebration in the party. So you could do that if you want, or you can kind of blow him off and go off doing things.
Kitchen time.
Okay.
Okay.
Tali would politely stay for a little bit, but then
Okay.
when it kind of gets sort of later, because the thing is quite late in the evening, it's midnight, so
Yeah,
probably about like 11ish or something. Maybe
Okay.
like she'd leave and go out.
So we'll transition to the party stage now. So you watch as basically Bachar takes you, Pebble, into the kitchen, and you are introduced to the chef. You see this large kind of kitchen. You see big counters. You see lots of like knives and stuff like that. And largely, it is all unused because there's not a lot of resources here. But you do see the most hunched over, ancient-looking gnome you have ever seen. You see this woman with this kind of like puff of wispy white hair that just kind of covers seemingly over her eyes, and she's just kind of stumbling around. And you see her like chopping some food, like shoving it into a pot where she's making this kind of gruel-like soup. Bertrand's like, this is Helga. She is the chef. I actually don't know much more about her than that. She's been working here since before I came to work here. I think they might have built the pub around her, honestly. Yeah, good luck. He just shoves you into to the kitchen and then walks away.
I go like, hi.
You introduce yourself, and in response, Helga says nothing. She just carries on chopping vegetables.
Right, this is like Pebble is gonna take this as like a trial by fire kind of thing. So I'm gonna Pebble's gonna try to understand what Helga is cooking and help to the best of his ability.
Okay.
So
you watch as Helga's basically cooking some sort of broth soup kind of thing. So, so what I'll have you do, Pebble, is you're gonna make me a check with your cooking implements. Actually,
all right, how is
sheets.
that?
It's a good question. Let me just let's start by roll d20. Let's go from there and we'll figure out the rest.
Ooh, 16.
16, okay. That's a very good start. So yes, you are proficient in your cooking utensils. Then, and your proficiency bonus on top of that, and let's call it, and your wisdom.
So 1 second, proficiency bonus. What does that mean?
So if you're looking at your character sheet for your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, +2.
Yep, okay, so that comes out an 18, and then add your wisdom modifier as well.
Wisdom modifier +2 as well.
So coming total of
20.
yes. Just testing your maths.
No,
so
sorry,
yes, what you basically end up doing is turning this woman almost into like a kitchen appliance, and that she's there chopping veg, and you basically start putting like veg in front of her, and she chops it up, and you start
Nice.
like, getting like food and spices, and you make this kind of very hearty broth. While she's doing that, you actually find some like there are like pantries and meats and stuff here that she kind of chucks in, but you basically start cooking up some meats, and within like an hour, Pebble is returning and setting up, and Bertrand's helping you set up this table, but there is a large table set up with what looks like, cooked pork and stuff like this, and you see Bertrand starts pulling out bottles of wine.
Nice.
At this kind of point, you can see a lot of the patrons here have left, and it is just Dimitri still sat. Bertrand does move Dimitri onto the table with you.
Yay.
Or maybe shoves the table around, but you see Dimitri stays there. But yeah, you have this kind of fine like layout of a meal before you, and you see Bertrand stand at the head of the table like, I think it's called for a toast to new small and mighty.
Damn it, I
good
didn't,
work
I didn't
you'll
make
do.
toast. Sorry. Yeah. Clink.
Oh yeah, small and mighty. Yeah.
Ooh.
And you eat merrily, and if you want to have any chat or anything like that, go ahead.
When does Helga eat?
She stays in the kitchen when you walk away.
Can I carry like a little bit of food, like a prepared plate to her?
Okay. You leave it in the kitchen nearby, and she doesn't touch it.
Her shoulder.
Yeah.
I let her know.
Yeah. You try your best to inform her, and she seems oblivious as always.
Do you know what I want? Do you know what I wanted to happen? It's just like I approach with the like. I put the plate there, and she starts like chopping as if it wasn't like a
Maybe.
Nice.
But you leave the plate with her, and you return to the table. Sorry, Chad, you want to say something?
I was Chad. I'm assuming we're not going down to like who's sitting next to whom and all that type of stuff.
You can do if you want to.
Chad is sat on the opposite side of the table to Dimitri, but as far away from him as possible.
Nice.
Okay. Sure, fair enough.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But unless you want to say anything specific, we'll just say that you have, general conversations. Chat is had. You do watch at one point. Birdchild has a moment like he just remembered something and walks in with what appears to be this bundled package. In this kind of it's like a brown paper thing that has this colourful ribbon over it, and it seems to be hand drawn hearts and stars on it. And it goes over to Christina, and you overhear him having a conversation saying, somehow a package arrived for you today, addressed to here. And he's a bit like, I don't know how anyone would know you are here. And you watch as Christina basically opens this package, and there is this large, almost similarly decorated book. And you see her you overhear maybe saying oh, this is my gran. And she starts reading this book and starts digging into this book.
Okay.
While you're sat around the table.
Is it Christina's birthday?
It's not Christina's birthday as far as you're aware, but
Is that one second?
she seems to have a delivery from her gran.
Oh, right.
Despite the fact that you have been living in this tavern for less than 24 hours. A package arrived addressed to Christina at this address.
Interesting.
Christina.
Come on, Adam, do the voice.
Try my best.
What is this book? Is it a gift?
She's like, I don't know yet. I'm trying to. I think it's a book on spells from my gran. It's like a workbook, I think, to kind of help me learn a bit about how to use my magic. I feel like Barry
Cool.
kind of throw something at me. I don't know if that's.
Would you mind if I had a look too? I'm just curious.
Yeah, sure. She basically comes sit next to you and you can start reading it together. It seems to be
As in a response to the book is like a response to the conversation that was being had between us, or between you guys earlier this same day.
It almost seems like that, doesn't it? It's something that for you, Tali, and anyone else actually who'd be looking if anyone's interested. Very bizarre, because this is a book that is very much here's how to cast a spell. Here's how to enunciate clearly spell word. And it is something you have never seen anything like this. Everywhere you've kind of lived and existed, magic has been illegal or heavily licensed like it is here in Brattonshire. But to have literature that says, Idiot's Guide to Spellcasting, essentially.
The CGP revision
Yeah.
guide. To...
It's very bizarre. And what's interesting about this book is that it is entirely handwritten.
Nice.
Ooh. This isn't like a printing press kind of thing. This is a handwritten tome. It's written in this kind of very intricate, curly, cursive writing.
Is there a difference between so obviously the spell book is kind of showing you how you should cast magic. Is it different to how Tali understands how to cast magic? Just curious.
It is yes and no. As you read, for you, it's very inherent, this kind of stuff. But it's almost I guess I'm trying to liken it to some people. How some people will tell me if it's right or wrong. But some people, some people can just sing and they can just understand tunes and stuff. They almost have an inherent sense of music. And some people have to learn.
Mhm.
It's kind of in that vein. You're reading stuff on paper that you had never considered, but go, that makes total sense. That's why that works.
Sure. Okay. Interesting.
It's almost as someone has written down things that you knew inherently.
Is who's that from, Christina?
She tells you it's from her gran.
Does she do magic too?
She'll say that yes, she does. She is, but she also goes on but everyone where she lives does magic. It's pretty common.
I'm gonna peep as well. I'm gonna peep the book a little bit.
For you, Pebble, it's less this doesn't just go oh, it makes sense. You're reading stuff and you're
Ooh, is that how I'm supposed to do it?
yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about trying it that way. There's some of that kind of stuff going on. But yeah, it's very interesting. And yeah, you would have heard when Christine was first here that she's from a place called South Costrand, which you probably all would know, depending on your knowledge of politics. But the South Costrand is not one of the baronies. Originally, Costrand was a barony, and then it had a civil war and split in half. And North Costrand remains part of the Barons' Alliance, treats magic illegal, etc. And they in particular are very militant about it, more so than anywhere else.
Mm.
So like magic isn't even licensed there. You just cannot do magic, and every single citizen there is conscripted into the army. And the reason why they maintain such a strong presence in army and attitude to magic is that within Kostrand, and part of the reason why there was civil war is there's a lot of magic users there who decided, fuck you, we're going to make our own nation. And South Kostrand is a very heavily magical society. Magic is completely legal. In fact,
Oh,
all you have
Oh.
of magic, the more political power you have.
you froze a little bit, but I think
Oh,
I think we got
I
it.
think we got
I
it.
think you were saying
Well-
like magic in South Kostrand. The more magic you have, the more political power and status you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll let you roll a history check for me real quick to see if you know anything about its power structure.
Can I roll?
Yeah. Pretty much anyone can roll for this, apart from maybe Brask.
This is
think
about North Kostrand's.
No, it's about South Kostrand.
Oh, that's fine. Yes.
I did an 18.
Can I roll with advantage?
Yes, because yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can roll advantage because of where you were raised.
Reasons.
Because of reasons.
Ooh, hello. Wait, it's a history check, right?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Got 20.
20,
Ooh.
okay.
Chad got a 16.
16?
Though,
Pretty good.
I'm not sure how much attention Chad. I want to ask you about the wine in
Yeah.
a second. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how much attention Chad's paying to this.
I got an 18.
18, okay. So Chad, you can decide actually how much of this you know, but generally speaking, you have this knowledge available to you. So unlike the part of the region for the Baronies Alliance is all the baronies are ruled over by a council. And how that council is formed varies from barony to barony, but there's 7 members who rule over different aspects of society. South Kostrand have rejected that altogether, and they have a single ruler known as the Archon, and it is a dictatorship, for lack of a better term, a magical dictatorship. That said, all you hear about it is South Kostrand is bad. Everyone is under the dictatorship rule, thumb, etc., etc. And then obviously how Christina looks and acts seems completely antithesis to that. She seems, a fairly normal person from this evil society of mages. Yes. Chad, you want to ask about wine? Go.
So is this good wine?
So, yes and no.
Wow.
You think Bertrand has brought out his best wine,
Yeah.
but to your tastes, no.
Right.
This is
Okay.
it is reasonably expensive wine. But being that you are from a rich noble family, this is probably the stuff that you have as a casual drink.
Yeah.
Or maybe you at Christmas time, not Christmas time. There's no Christmas, but during the midwinter's feast, you give it to the servants. It's that kind of thing.
So this isn't proper Riverdan
No.
wine. Is it red?
It is red wine, yeah.
Is it particularly strong? And how is Chad getting drunk off this? That's
Yeah,
the-
100%. So it's not Riverdanian wine, but it is Tumlin County wine, which there's sort of a rivalry there, I guess, a little bit.
Ooh.
The Tumlin County is a gnomish county largely, and they're known for their wines, their cheeses, and pretty much nothing else. But their wine is very heavily alcoholic.
Where is that on the map?
It is on the map. It's
It's
north
not
of
from-
Brattonshire.
It's not
So-
where I'm from.
It is where Pebble's from.
Nice.
So it's
So I
it's
wouldn't
not
bother.
it's not a barony unto itself. It is actually like a region within Brattonshire.
Nice.
It's not
It's
like-
basically like
Hobbiton.
rolling farm. Basically, it's Hobbiton and the Shire. Rolling hills full of gnomish farms, and there's some humans that live out there too. But they basically make alcohol, food, and nothing else.
Chad's still going to be. He's going to be going pretty hard. He's sort of between the whole thing of like he's probably not had much decent wine in a while, but also he's hurt his ribs, so he's probably not. He's probably having a bit of a time there.
Painkillers, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
Yep.
he's trying to drown the pain there. Also, just seems like he it just sort of seems like he's just very, very thirsty. And sort of can't quite get enough of it of this, and is sort of trying to fill a hole that's not quite working. Would it be worth rolling like a Constitution saving throw or something to see if he's how pissed he's getting? Or Just I've not played as a drunk character before. I don't know
Roll
how
me a
it-
Constitution saving throw. Probably again, Tali, you're pretty high in passive perception. You notice that Chad is kind of almost engorging himself on some of the food and the wine.
That's a 14.
14, okay. You're not getting like completely hammered. Actually, you although you're drinking this quite quickly and heavily, that you are holding your own a little bit for the time being. There's probably several soirees you used to go to where you would drink from dusk till dawn, so this is probably within the realms of your experience, especially for wine. I imagine if it was ale or spirits, that you might be hammered, but for wine, like this is your area of expertise, so you're all right. You're definitely tipsy, verging on drunk, but you're not like laying on the floor comatose yet.
Passed out. Yeah. Good.
Good to know.
Same kind of line of thinking for Brass. So I'm thinking, one, he's not drinking by particularly, what's the word? Like he's not drinking the way that people drink.
Yeah.
He's not like pouring a glass. He's just grabbing a bottle, walking it, and just taking huge swigs whenever he does. Like, and he's like
biting the
smashing it on the ground and another and all that sort of stuff.
Oh dear.
First,
How does
when you first try and do
Bertrand-
that, Burchard tries to stop you, and then decides not to stop you, and then just leaves it to you as he gets more and more drunk himself. He's like, "Yeah!"
Oh great.
Yeah,
He ends up
he's
encouraging
like
you more than anything.
Yeah, he's got that sort of Viking,
Yeah,
swashbuckling aggression almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
watch.
does he
and-
get drunk?
well, maybe a Constitution saving
his
throw.
background.
Make me a Constitution
What
saving
his
throw. as well.
background is with wine as opposed
Yeah,
to
that's why I was.
I don't
gonna
think
go
your
water.
people wouldn't have wine. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
Opposite, like,
interesting.
you have like spirits, like.
Yeah, you probably do have spirits.
Oh.
11.
Okay, come back to him. But what you notice is that Burchard, who was obviously generally quite reserved, the more he drinks, the more rowdy he seems to get. Almost if you are tapping into almost like a fun side of him that maybe has been buried for a while. So he ends up
hello.
encouraging you, Brass, like just giving you more bottles. But yes, Brass, you, however, do eventually, as you like smash one more bottle, like and you just watch as Brass just hits the floor with a loud thump.
Okay.
Chad's gonna go. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
One
You see
second.
Burchard get the door, it's like, yeah!
And then just from the ground, still holding the bottle. Yeah!
Yes, I have an
Uh,
important question. Do the bees get drunk as well?
Yes, sure. The bees are drunk too. You see them,
Yes.
and you watch as Brass starts to cuddle up to the hive on the floor. And I think this is where we're going to take our break.
What time
Uh,
is in game? No, in game. Because
In-game?
we can do this after we come back.
Yeah. It is probably, you can see just through the windows that it is, the sun is setting.
Okay.
As
Yeah, we can
we-
come. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. But we'll have a break now. So let's do a 10-minute break.
right.
And then we'll actually start to go into sort of more the downtime kind of events. So we'll pick up with Tali and Pebble going off to factories, and then anything else we want to do for the next sort of 2 days.
I'm
Cool.
gonna get method and get very drunk in this 10 minutes.
Can we have a short rest?
Yes, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Have a short rest.
Nice.
It's important because I need to heal.
We'll do it over the break, but do a short rest over the
that's
break if you want it.
Cool. See you in 10 minutes.
Yay!
10 minutes.
And we're back. Okay, so we're gonna pick up kind of where we left off. The sun is setting, and Pebble, Christina, Chad, roll me a perception check. Something happened this time.
So-
10.
10. Okay. Chad, I think you're too drunk to notice this.
Cool.
You're looking at Brass who's on the floor. So is Burchard. So it's probably Christina who isn't here. But Pebble, you notice this. Tali, what is happening right now?
Okay, so as the sun goes down, people who have noticed will notice that it seems that on Tali's like skin, like all most visible skin, like on her arms and like on her neck, like blue sort of like runes like light up, very very briefly, but at the same time, her hair goes from like white, to silver to purple. And you would also notice that so her eyes are still sunset colored like the iris, but the whites of her eyes are now black.
As you Pebble, as the sun is setting, it's almost as if Tali's appearance shifts, almost in accordance with the sun setting. And as the sun dips below the horizon, you see that last glimmer of sunshine, where where the sunset is like the brightest. You see those runes appear across Tali, and then they fade when the sun drops below the horizon, leaving this dark purple hair and these black eyes.
Is Tali trying to hide it? No. Pebble is gonna be like,
It doesn't, for her, it doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary has happened.
okay. I'm
Got
gonna go
Twitter. It's got the dark mode enabled.
Yes.
Tali has a living dark mode.
Did this happen?
That's how you can notify on D&D
Before.
Beyond. There's now dark mode, so you can
Yes,
swap it to
do
dark
it.
Yeah,
mode
there is. I have
to
it.
remind yourself that you're in dark mode.
I'll figure out how to do
That's
it, but
very
I'll
nice.
do it.
Did this happen last night?
Because you did spend a day extra with, we'll say yes, although
I mean,
you didn't.
I spent a
whatever.
day extra, and then
mean,
there was
she
the
might-
recruitment, and then there was the night as well.
No, this is the same day as the recruitment.
What?
It's been a
Oh.
long
Yeah.
day for you guys.
One
but you,
day.
Oh, wow.
You technically would have spent the night before with Tali, because that's
wow.
true.
But it
Um,
might have been like you went to sleep and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say no for the sake of ease. This is the first time you're seeing it.
Okay.
It was like Shrek when Fiona hides in the house the first night.
It's literally
exactly,
about.
exactly.
I'm gonna politely ask Tali, like, "Oh, does that happen every night?"
Yeah,
Hmm.
it does.
Okay. I'm not gonna. Yep,
So
that's it.
awkwardly sits and awkwardly shuffles. Yep.
What was I gonna? So right. Do we?
Just for the sake of it, Pebble, roll me an Arcana check.
Yeah. 9.
9. No, that's fair.
Thalia has layers.
I like it.
Good one, Ollie.
Tali is like an onion.
Yeah. Christina almost brushes it off. You think, being that she's from a very magically heavy society, this almost doesn't faze her. And she's like, oh, and just carries on reading. No, she would say, she would comment on how she likes your hair color, and says you'll need to teach her how to do that trick, and then goes back to reading her book.
Nice.
Yeah, Tali is awkward and yes, she's awkward.
Well, Tali is awkward always. No, she's good.
Okay. But well, yes, though, having that moment happen. But yeah, Chad and Brask, and also Burchard, who's getting drunk, rolling around the floor of Brask. It's not quite, but you don't see this at the moment. But
Plus,
well,
wouldn't
now,
notice it anyway. He's colorblind to notice.
fair point.
Oh.
But we
Brask
shift-
actually colorblind. Amazing.
What
Amazing.
kind? Because maybe you'll see our hair's different, or is it just like no color at all?
It would maybe be a slightly different shade of grey to him.
I mean, the white of the eyes has gone black, so that's...
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit awkward. It might
It's
just
not
like have
big.
completely black eyes. That's gonna be spooky.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll now kind of shift towards that kind of downtime event. So, as this evening draws towards later and later, you continue drinking. Things are going on. You do notice that Burchard starts to kind of close down the pub, and things start happening. And you're still a couple of hours away from midnight for you guys who want to head. Do you want to head out at midnight, or you want to head out before midnight? What's your kind of plan? Before, okay.
Well, actually, we'll say before.
Okay, that's fine. So you make your way over to the to the smokestacks. That's the word it's called. And
Yeah,
in fact,
on the way, is there time to like do a little talk on the way?
yes, don't worry. Yeah, we can absolutely. But we'll come to that.
Yeah,
in
so we're gonna put me and Pebble, I guess,
Mhm.
traveling to the factory, and Carly's gonna just Pebble, did Carly help earlier? You know, you and Christina are having some trouble, and I really want to help you, and I'm worried I didn't. I don't know. What I said wasn't helpful.
It's very inspiring. You did help. It's very inspiring to know someone who has like such, you know, control over the magic. I'm grateful.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
Please be okay. Pebble is like, I don't know. No one is sad. Yeah.
Pebble, roll me an insight check, real quick.
1 second. 9.
Nine, okay.
Yeah. Today I'm in a 9.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. I mean, you kind of pick up on that. Yeah, Tali's having some sort of crisis of personality, maybe. But as you already had, so carry on.
I'm gonna I'm gonna give her like a can of soup or something.
Like you can get like a mug of soup on your way out.
Soup is like the answer to everything. No, I'm not gonna stretch that much. But I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, honestly, like it was a good fight. We all did what we could. It's fine. You're overthinking. It's all right.
I mean, you're probably right. I'm overthinking. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try and yeah. We gotta be careful though, because
Yes.
it's nighttime and we don't know who's who's out here. So we're gonna go. Yep, and we're gonna try and find this meaning, and it's gonna be fine. And
I'm freaking out a little bit as well. Like Pebble is
Good.
like
Real confident you two are. Great. But yes, you are
Yes.
making your way across town. If you want, and quickly go on roll 20, you'll see that there is. I have finally finished my little map of Lomax.
wow. Can I show that to the stream? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Go for it.
Um.
I'll give you a sense of where
there
you
we
are and what's going on.
go.
While you're getting out the stream and while you are making your way to the smokestacks, back inside the pub, Brass is obviously basically just fallen asleep on the floor. Vichard is struggling and drunkenly trying to like close down the tavern. You can see most of the patrons are left, and Chad, as you're sitting there, kind of waiting for things. You see that finally Dimitri has done something. He's gotten up, and you see he's kind of like just organizing himself, and then just starts to make his way towards the door. And Vichard's like, "Night, Dimitri. Make it home safe. I'll see you tomorrow." And then just carries on like pushing a stool, which Chad, you watch as he basically Burchard had put the stool to one side of the room, and now he's pushing it back to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Just kind of just going around in circles. But yeah, so Chad, is there anything you want to do this evening?
Chad is gonna give his head a bit of a shake and try and kind of like wake himself up a little bit. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, Chad, Birchie, you're okay with all the stools and stuff? My ribs, you know.
It's fine, Chad. I got it handled. And you watch as you say that he suddenly realizes he's pushed the chair the wrong way and starts pushing it back again.
You're doing a sterling job.
Place, it will be shipshape. Don't worry about it. I've
Doing
done
it.
this in worse states before.
I'm sure you have. You're doing a sterling job, and excellent wine. I'm just gonna get a breath of fresh air. Cool.
Yeah. So you go out, and it's kind of later now. It's like somewhere between 10 and 11ish, and you can see that there is kind of this kind of damp. There's still a bit of drizzle in the air. It's this kind of colder evening. What are you doing?
Can I roll a perception check to see if I can see where Dimitri has gone?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it.
That is A natural 20.
Oh my god.
Damn.
I mean, he wasn't hard to find either.
He walks very
He's just like
slowly.
right next to you.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Ooh.
actually moved yet.
Oh,
I bump into him as I open the door.
Almost. No, you looking around and you do see that this man Dimitri very slowly is making his way. If you're looking at the map to sort of the western direction,
by the way, like, shall
and you
we
start to see him.
shall we say where we are, just for the rest of the
You're at the
people?
Five Fellows.
Five Fellows, yeah.
Yeah, the Five Fellows
yeah,
pub.
I just wanna.
So Tali and Pebble, you're going towards the Smokestacks, which is to your east, and Chad, if you're following this guy, he starts heading south, west, and then starts going south, and you watch as he roughly going towards the river, you'd imagine. That sort of direction, at least for the moment. But yeah, you see him basically turn around a corner, and you just catch him as like the last moment of him walking around a corner.
Lovely. Chad's not entirely sure what he's doing here.
Okay,
He's
good.
He's not entirely.
That's what some wine will do to
yeah.
you.
Exactly. He's not entirely cognizant of what he's doing, but he feels the need to follow this guy as stealthily as he can for a bit.
Oh, okay. If we're gonna do some nighttime sleuthing and stalking between you and Evergreen, I'm gonna change the music.
Oh, I imagine Chad just gets lost in the city because he's drunk, and then like wakes up in Russia somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just
Let's do the Hangover.
Yes.
Yeah. Wakes up next morning with a tattoo on his face and a tiger.
yeah.
Chad's on the roof.
No idea where Burchard is. Sorry, it's all sorry.
Chad is now Mike Tyson.
Sorry, what did you say you were doing?
So, I'm going to pursue him slowly and stealthily.
Okay.
I'm aware I have disadvantage on stealth.
Yeah, but you can roll stealth check.
So that is either an 11. It's an 11. God,
11. Okay.
the other one was 19. That's good.
You're trying your best to kind of follow this guy with your armor, and you obviously have, would you have brought your weapons with you, or would you? Because you were at the pub drinking, and imagine you weren't sitting there with your shield and sword in your back.
I would imagine that before particularly to like, but to relax a bit more, and also to reduce like the pressure on his ribs and stuff. Probably would have removed his armor and equipment and stuff. He's probably heading out without much on him. Maybe he's got.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, in which case, if you're not wearing your armor, I'll let you roll again. Roll stealth check, but no disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you're not wearing the armor that should be bulking you down.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Natural one.
You do have a hero moment if you want to use it,
Oh god, that's so funny though.
or you can maintain the drunken natural one.
That is so funny. I'll take the natural one.
Yeah. Okay. You
Yes.
are like, as much as you can, you're wincing in pain, but you're walking fairly quietly for the most part. And you kind of walk up to that corner where you've seen him go around, and as you do, your foot just slips in a puddle, and you just go face first down to the floor, splat into the cobblestones,
Yeah.
laying there, and you just bleary-eyed. You've got like mud and rain in your eyes, and you look down the street, and you can see Dimitri completely unfazed by any of this as you're laying there on the floor. I'm going to give you some full damage just for
I was about to say.
funsies of it. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the floor.
Excellent.
Awkwardly
That's most of my short rest gone.
Yeah. Awkwardly sort of landing your shoulder. That's going to hurt in the morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy, he just, as you've always kind of so far known this guy, he seems unfazed by what's going on around him. And you see again, he's wearing like a coat, but he just has this kind of wispy grey hair. It's just been rained on. He's not attempting to like cover his head or even hasten his pace in this rain. He's just kind of like almost like a ghost, just drifting down the street.
Okay.
Did Chad yell as he fell?
It was a natural one. Probably made a bit of a noise.
Yeah, I feel like Chad will probably the kind of classic. Do you want to see if that wakes you up, Brask?
Yes, I want to see if I heard it.
Yeah. Roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
Cool. So we have 15 or or natural 20. So 15.
15, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's enough to hear this kind of yelp. You hear, and with 15, you hear
A
basically like,
sobering whelp.
yeah, instincts kick in. You hear a whelp from Chad, one of your
We'll
allies.
save him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Brask will like sit bolt upright immediately and just sort of grab Burchard and be like, "Where are they?"
Brask becomes Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drunken instinctive mode.
Barty looks at you like, they went out. Ow.
And you're like, okay.
Thank you for the information. He just stomps off towards the door.
So you saw him out the door. As you get outside the door, I'll have you roll another perception check to see what you can. This was disadvantage because at the moment you are effectively poisoned, which means disadvantage on all ability checks and attack rolls.
Beautiful.
So 17 or 16. So 16.
Ah,
Okay, 16.
Wow.
So you probably see down the street, around the corner, you can see Chad just like lifting himself off the street and sort of like starting to brush off this dirt and mud. Chad, you would see Brass. He's drunkenly stumbled out the door, and you can see him off to the side.
Yep.
Okay. Chad!
Oh, he's gonna be like, oh god. Brask. Don't worry. Go back inside. I'm just going out for a stroll. Just slipped. Absolutely fine. Don't worry.
Does Brask believe him? Is he gonna read this social cue as genuine as it is, or is, I don't know, like, could he?
This I will leave this to you, Ryan. Like, do you
Okay.
believe?
Well, in that case,
do you
he
believe
doesn't
Chad or
believe
not?
him.
Fair enough.
I've just seen him like pick himself up and round and like sort of crawl around a corner-ish. So I think he's under duress. So I'm gonna charge straight towards him as fast as I can.
Okay.
Oh my god.
this is amazing.
Yelling for him as I go.
Chad, how do you respond? The big hulking dragon is charging down the street at you, thinking you're in danger.
Does it look like? Is Brask gonna try and tackle? Is this the type of thing like is Brask gonna try and like rugby tackle him to the?
You can't really tell.
battle
You
stuff, or
tell
is
that
it
he's gone
like-
into like action mode, and that
Okay,
could
yeah.
be tackle you to the ground. It could be like you wouldn't be surprised if he comes sliding around the corner and attacks the old man down the street. Like you don't know.
I'd like to note that when Brask is like running forward, he's like drifting off to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not even certain he's gonna be on target.
What is Bart's intention? Are you trying to grapple Chad or just get to him?
Whatever danger is around the corner that I can't see, I want to get in the middle of it.
Okay.
So like, I want to dive in front of the bullet that is about to hit.
Make me an acrobatics check with disadvantage as you try and dive in front of the bullet of the old man drifting down the street.
4. And oh no, yeah, 4.
You watch as Brass basically does do the whole like jump in front of you to try and block a blow, and you watch as he just keeps going, Chad. And then Brass, you're also going to take some fall damage. You take four bludgeoning damage as you hit the rough cobblestones and slide across the street as well. Chad, you see as Brass throws himself before your feet. Again, Chad, this man Dimitri completely unfazed by any of this.
Yeah.
And again, Dimitri is walking away, not towards, right? So
Yeah, no,
it's
he's walking off.
What?
He's just getting further and further down this street to the south.
Chad's
Don't give
gonna.
a shit.
I'm working on the assumption we're on a corner. Is that
Yes.
there was a bit of
Yeah, you're on like almost like a T junction probably, but this guy's gone down the corner.
Chad's gonna look at his very large, very drunk friend, and he's gonna look at Dimitri and stuff, and he's going to turn away from Brask, and he's gonna do a stealth check to try and drop into the shadows.
Okay.
Goes around the corner, and I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay, sure. So, Brask, as you're laying there, you hit the floor, and you kind of start to look up, and you look around for Chad, and he's gone. Chad has disappeared into, probably not that far. You're probably just down like a side alleyway or something. But yeah, you look around, and he's not where he was. I'll let you roll me a perception check with advantage, and see if you spot anything. Sorry, disadvantage, because you are wasted.
I'm so sad. Brask is wanted to help.
7.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with that, unfortunately, you've even lost track of the old man Dimitri, as he seems to have changed course down another street, and you're looking around, and you're just in this street vaguely on your own. In fact, no, I'll tell you what you do see. You see another person walking off to a street to the side, and your instinct in the dark, you're like, that's Chad.
Oh no!
Chad!
Oh no!
So
yes.
Brask, you go running off towards this other person. We'll come back to it in a moment.
I'd like to just make the note, I'm running on all fours.
Amazing.
Oh boy!
So the first thing that happens, and we'll come back to the more details in a minute, is that person, as you shout Chad, looks back, sees you, and starts bolting it as well. In the darkness, a monster is chasing this man. But anyway, we'll continue with Chad. So you've given a slip.
I have visions of like Brask getting picked up by like the Pound, and it's like, you know, he's like this giant lizard. He's like, yeah, I don't know what it is.
That might be what's happening. We'll find out, won't we? Chad, you evaded Brask. You see Brask run off down a different alleyway.
Yep.
And
Gonna continue.
Yeah.
Continue pursuing Dimitri through the streets.
yeah. So in doing this, you would have lost track of him as well. So I'll have you roll a perception check and see if you can find him.
19.
19. Okay.
Wow.
You start walking back down the road you thought he went down, and you get to a point like almost like a Y junction, and you're like, you're not even sure why. You're frustrated that you feel like you've lost track of him, and there's just something like almost instinctual makes you just look up, and you just catch right at the very end of one of these junctions, you see him just cross, almost like he didn't go down that street, but you just catch an intersection and you see him cross across it.
Yeah.
And you start making your way down that street as well.
Yeah.
And it is very strange, all this, Chad. Like, maybe it's the alcohol, but it's almost like this curiosity is almost driving you forward on this. You can't even understand why.
Not used to being this sort of quiet or
Yeah.
focused for this long. When it's not combat.
Yeah.
Character growth.
Yeah. But yeah. Compelled to carry on.
What is your intention here? Are you just going to keep following this guy until he arrives somewhere, or what? Are you trying to talk to him?
John wants to see where he's heading to primarily. Wants to see what his see if he can find out what his destination is.
Yeah, being that you've become very intimately aware of the fact this guy doesn't seem to respond to any noise and stuff, it becomes very easy to follow him. Like, he's very slow. He walks slower than you do, and almost like frustratingly slow as you're trying, like, where are you going? But you can keep a little bit of distance, but you do follow this guy, and every once in a while you see another person cross the street, but you're able to. They don't really seem suspicious of you. You're going to say something.
We need Brask to come and pick him up. Like the dog.
And for you, this almost like excruciatingly long half an hour passes. This guy just meanders his way through the streets, and eventually you arrive at a portion. If you look back at the map again, I'll ping it on the map if you're looking, Will. You basically arrive at this kind of bridge here.
Oh my god, you've crossed the entire
Ah.
You have. This guy's just gone like walked and walked and walked, and you see this bridge that leads onto what is an island in the middle of the river. So you've arrived at the Ilspur River. On the far bank, and it's not on this map, but on the far bank you see the actual older part of Dowra is this walled city. which is the sort of fancy part of Dalbridge that you wish you could get into. But there is this kind of island, and this bridge goes over to this island, which is like almost like a park. It's just got trees and benches and stuff like that. And this bridge just crosses over, and then on that island there's another bridge that crosses over to the other side. And roll me another perception check as you're approaching this.
That's a 15.
15, okay. What you start to see as this guy is sort of like making his way across this like iron wrought bridge. It's not a pretty bridge. Very functional, as much of Dalbridge has been, especially in the low bank, which is the newer industrial part of it. But you see the bridge is obviously raised from the waterbed, and on the far bank, on that little like park island, you see under the bridge what appears to be this almost like small camp of homeless people, destitutes, kind of thing. There, you see, you can't from the distance, you can't make out like outfits, but you do see like small campfires, these kind of like tents made of like scrap material, maybe salvaged from the factories, and you probably are starting to see maybe more people like Dimitri, these kind of homeless destitutes, and he seems to be making his way there. This is probably where he sleeps, but you can see he's starting to make his way across this bridge.
Okay, Chad's pulse is going to start really racing at this point, and sort of like these sort of subtle impulses that have kind of been sort of compelling him this far are suddenly sort of growing in strength, and they're sort of growing there.
There's almost a feeling of like it's almost too late. You've all got to something. You're not sure what it is, but like it's action. Now is the time.
Yeah, whatever I've got to do has got to be done now. Chad's gonna speed up and start properly closing the distance between him and and Dimitri.
As you start running, like, and not quietly, like although you take your armor off, you still have your heavy kind of leather boots, and this footstep, the wet splashing, like as you're running towards this guy. He of course does not respond in any way.
Yeah. And Chad's gonna catch up with him and try and grapple him, basically, sort of, and apprehend him on the bridge.
Normally I would ask for an athletics check here to grapple him, but he doesn't resist. You just grab him from the back.
Yeah, gonna push him up against the balustrade of the bridge.
Okay, you push him. The guy, he just doesn't respond. You just shove him along, and he just sort of like stumbles. Almost as like a strong breeze had pushed him, a very strong breeze, obviously. But like he doesn't, even when you're touching him, he doesn't seem conscious of you being there.
I imagine, but is he facing me initially, or
probably as you like push him, you face him. You just see this kind of like even his eyes, the iris is seen this kind of lifeless grey, and it's kind of he just almost like look through you, like you're standing there, his eyes are facing you, he's looking into your face, this gaunt face, and he just looks through you as if he doesn't even know that you're there.
Chad has this just moment of just disgust or shame, and spins the man around to face him, so he's facing away from him.
Just roughly spins. You have to almost like stop him from falling over.
And he just hears a thought in his own mind, which is just disgusting creature. It's just the words. Chad's gonna instinctively reach for his sword. At this point,
which you don't have.
Yeah. And he's going to realise he doesn't have it, and he's then going to realise that actually he doesn't need it.
No!
And he thinks to himself, I'm glad I'm wearing red.
And it's this moment like that you realise that curiosity, that burning curiosity, it's not curiosity.
Yeah.
It's hunger. A thirst you can't quench.
As Riverdan noble Chadronetius the Vertine III sinks his teeth into the homeless man's neck and begins to drink.
Chad, no! You can't eat the homeless people.
So that's where we're going to leave that little tale. We're going to jump across to in the smokestacks with Tali and Pebble.
Great.
Oh yeah, let's just
nice.
forget what just happened there. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is alright.
Oh boy.
I'm sweating.
Me too. I'm so tense. I'm so.
Yes.
Oh.
Cool.
Alright.
And Pebble is looking around every corner as well.
Is it dark enough out that we need like dark vision? Night vision.
Ooh,
Dark vision.
Unless you have a lantern or something, yes.
What? I
do
got
we
better.
both need?
Well, no. Do you, Pebble? Does Pebble
don't
have
know.
dark vision?
No,
no idea.
Pebble is human
That's
and
okay.
therefore has no way to see in the dark.
That's okay. Tanya will go. Oh, it's pretty dark. Can you? I'm guessing you. Can you see, Pebble?
I mean, how illuminated is this area?
There's no light.
No. Okay. Yeah.
You're walking into. So I should describe it. You're walking into these large factory buildings, and you see that it's huge, largely industrial. There's not a lot of like decoration to them. Very functional. You see these huge towers coming out there, which are smokestacks. During the daytime, you imagine there'd be huge pourings of black clouds from these, but right now they're all dead and cold and quiet. This district you think is alive during the daytime, but this time of night it is dead. There is no sound, there is no lights.
I'm gonna Pebble. 1 second. I'm gonna Pebble. I'm gonna Pebble. No.
I recommend it.
Doing anything with
Yes.
the lights or stone because Harley's gonna do something first.
Well, I'm gonna start making an effort to reach for a torch, and then tell you.
It's fine. Pepper, it's fine. Look, and she takes her holy symbol, and kind of sort of like mutters something, along the lines of like, Intin, can we share your sight? And like some sort of blue like glow kind of extends from
Nice.
the holy symbol to Pebble and gives you dark vision to a range of 300 feet.
All of a sudden, you've gone from like this is black, you can't see anything, to
Right.
you just not bright light. It's considered dim light for you, but you can see quite far this street. It's strange because it is you can't like colors. It's kind of grey, black and white. Although you wouldn't imagine this place is very colourful anyway, but you can
Yeah.
see down these streets now, and like
Well, Pebble wouldn't know, so I was like, Tally, wouldn't we get discovered like easily? Like, wouldn't people like see where the light is coming from?
But people would also see a lantern.
Yeah, but
So-
look at how much light you're throwing around.
No,
I'm thinking that.
no,
yeah.
it's no. This is how I see. There's no light. It's still dark, but you can see. I shared it with you.
Cool.
Tali shared it.
I put the torch back and I grab a mirror and it's like, oh, my eyes still look normal.
they do,
That was-
unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like, oh, thank you. Okay, yeah. So we go on. Do we see many people?
Maybe climb up onto a building.
Roll
Tali
me-
will suggest like we'll have advantage if we go high up. We could see more and
Ooh.
maybe we'll catch someone.
Roll me.
We'll have advantage on our perception rolls if we.
Wow.
But first we've got to roll me some athletics checks to try and climb a building.
Cool.
Okay.
Because these buildings weren't made for
Oh
climbing.
dear. Why am I +1 on acrobatics and -1 on athletics? That's not.
Because acrobatics is dexterity based and athletics is strength based, my friend.
Ah.
And
Well,
you are a puny
athletics.
little boy.
Athletics check.
Athletics.
I rolled an 18, so.
Oh fuck yeah.
I rolled a 6.
Oh
Okay.
no.
So yeah, Pebble somehow manages to just like, this is easy. You watch as he starts climbing. Like Pebble, for whatever reason, you have extensive experience. Like back on the farms, every once in a while the chickens would get on the roof, and you're like, oh, not again. And you have to climb up to the roof to get the chickens.
Cool,
Like, this is like
fair.
a weekly occurrence for you. So yeah, you climb up this building. Tali, you were like, no.
Do you want me to come back down? no, that's a bit rude. What will Pebble say? Hang on, I can help you.
you might have things like ropes and stuff in your equipment. Worth
I'm
looking.
trying to. Inventory. That's it.
One.
Bedroll. I can make shift. No, 1 sec. What is a mess kit?
Like
It's
a-
all plates and bowls and cutlery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're organized, that doesn't make any mess. What is I have a rod. Sorry. I have a rod. Oh no, I have a rope. I have
There
a
we go. a rope.
hempen rope.
Yay.
15 feet.
So what you can
So-
do, you could like tie it off to something and lean
Yeah,
it down
yeah,
to
sure.
Tali.
Yeah.
I'll say for the sake of ease, you manage to tie it off. Tali, climbing a rope is roll me an athletics check with advantage.
I will. Tali also does have her glaive because she'll be using it as like a big walking stick, so she'll sort of put it on her back.
Mhm.
And she will have her hood up, like she's kind of gone.
I want you to roll
stealth
like
mode.
2 natural 20s now.
I did roll a natural 20.
Hey!
Uh,
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
with the help from Pebble and the rope, you
Yes.
make it on top of one of these factory buildings. And being on top of these buildings is kind of awkward because the tiles are kind of like the shale roof thing, and it does kind of slip. Like these weren't obviously designed for anyone to walk on them, so it's a little bit tedious being up there.
The difficult terrain.
Kind of, yes.
Yes.
But you are on the roof. What are you doing?
We are.
And
I can imagine like the situation because it was a natural 20. I can imagine like Tali like super struggling. Then I extended the rope, and she was like, "Yeah, what rope? Doing." Suddenly she's
with one, what she pulls her up once and just like ends up.
It's elastic.
Yeah.
Doing. Anyway, I pick up the rope because that's.
Tali
that's
grabs
my-
the rope and pulls the roof down to her.
Yes, the world
Yeah.
moves.
Alters reality.
Wow. Anyway,
Anyway,
what,
on the roof.
what do
What are you
we
doing?
see? Just
You see a lot of empty, dark streets at the moment,
Yeah.
but what are you looking for?
That's a good question. That's a good question, which
Tali is gonna ask, like, Pebble, do you have any ideas about how we could maybe find these
maybe I
for
can.
Nervin?
Yeah. Maybe I can.
Like, maybe we could look for if we see any Nervin out in the streets, or if we see any
Unfortunately, Pebble.
gnomes or
Pebble
dwarves.
isn't like Pebble doesn't have any perceptive spell, kind of.
I guess like a congregation, like a maybe like a group of people.
I'll remind you, Pebble, that you do have a hero moment to use on something if you wish.
Yeah, but I mean, well, yeah, okay, yeah, I can thoroughly perceive my surroundings.
I see everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. Is that a heroic feat? Yeah, let's try to save the day.
Okay.
Because otherwise, 1 sec. What else do I have? I'm just like trying to exhaust my.
Thalia was also asking just like if you have, Pebble has any just general ideas. It's not necessarily a role
okay.
or an ability, but you can, if you want to. That'd be cool.
We could. No, I don't have any idea.
Maybe
Other
we
than
look
like
for
listening around.
a group of people. It's
Yeah,
quite late. I wouldn't expect anybody to be gathering, so two or more maybe.
Also, do we know that if the Nervim are the Nervim quiet or are they loud?
You have no idea. You didn't really see them. Like, you only saw them when you were fighting with them, really. You're not sure
Were
what
they
they're like.
loud?
They were loud when you were fighting with them, yes, but like you don't
Well, I
know
mean,
if they're
that's
particularly
to be
stealthy or
expected.
not. Outside of that, but if you want, you can do roll perception checks to see if you can like hear anything or spot a group of.
Quick question, because so 300 feet, just out of curiosity, how far is that?
300 feet.
No, but like in the city, is it say far enough to a certain bridge?
No, definitely not that far.
That's fine. That's okay. I thought not, but I thought I'd ask because I need a chance to get that plot right. But no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
300 feet.
A portal opens up in front of you, and you can see a perfectly framed image of what Chad's
God,
doing.
So if you look on the map quickly on,
Yep.
on Roll20,
Yeah, because it's in
300
the-
feet is 1 minute away.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I see.
So you're not far at all. Chad is
Very far away.
sort of in the 14-minute
That's
range.
okay.
So.
Many feet away. That's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, is it like can we like so I guess is it perception or is it investigation? Perception would be good actually.
Perception is the one for this because you're
Is
not
it
upfront and personal with something. You
Is
are
it
like
wisdom?
you're like Batman on the roof scanning for criminals, basically.
is it advantage or not advantage? Because we have the door.
I'll let you have advantage because you're on the roof.
And on the roof.
Yeah,
You did-
I'm
you
gonna
did the
roll
work.
'Cause you're Batmaning from the roof.
Do we both roll?
with
Yeah,
advantage.
you can both roll. You can both roll
Cool. With advantage.
with advantage.
Okay.
Wow. 15.
I got a 19.
19. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So you're scanning and like you don't see anyone. Like as you're starting to kind of realize more and more, this factory essentially goes to sleep this time of night. But as you're about to give up this pursuit, Tali, you hear some voices kind of echoing from somewhere. You can't even quite place them. You can't see anyone, but you hear this kind of very kind of almost like scratchy voices, just like, "Why are we out this time of night? Everyone's asleep." And it's like, "Well, the boss told us to find more because we lost the other ones." And it kind of continues. You can't, again, it's just echoing around these empty streets. You can't quite place it. It's like, but it's too late.
Can we
It needs-
move towards like if we moved in a certain way, does it get louder or quieter? Like, can we try
Yes.
and like?
We go like this.
I'll let you roll a perception check again to try and pinpoint it. This one is not with advantage because it is kind of just echoing around. But you can both roll one. You can both roll.
I did
yeah.
a 12.
12, okay, and
At 15.
15, okay. Yeah, you can start to hear it. You just kind of pinpoint on a direction. We'll say northeast for argument's sake.
Nice.
But it's kind of sounds like it's going away from you, and getting off the roof might slow you down. You might lose it in the time, but the
Can we-
conversation continues while you're thinking about this, and it's just that you hear an important piece of information. Everyone's like, but what's the point? It's too late. It's supposed to be at the train station at midnight. We're not gonna find someone to get them there in time. And then you just hear this kind of like, it's the boss's orders. Do what you're told.
Oh.
You
Can
start
I-
here. That conversation seems to be moving more towards the northeast.
Pebble, did you hear that?
I did.
The train station. We need to go. How much time do we have? We have to get there. We gotta try and
That'd be.
Get there for midnight. You're cutting it close.
Or do we follow them and because they'll have to go to the train station, so maybe we follow them and stop them from kidnapping somebody.
Sounds good.
And then maybe you go to the train station. Even if we're late, maybe maybe there's a clue.
Decisions. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try.
Can
to
we
do that.
follow them?
How many are there?
You heard two voices.
Okay.
That
Let's
doesn't mean there's two
let's
of
be
them.
brave.
Can we follow them?
You're gonna try and follow them.
Yeah.
So you'd have to get down into the street. So that's athletic checks from both of you as you try and get down.
Nice.
If you're leaving your rope tied up to the roof, that will be with advantage, but obviously means you're leaving your rope behind potentially.
One of us could go down, and then the other one could untie it and come down.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So who?
Right, so someone goes first.
Yeah, is
advantage.
Pebble good at athletic checks? Or does he-
-1.
Okay, maybe Pebble can go first. I have
Okay.
a plus.
With advantage.
Yep.
Wait, it's athletics to go down, but acrobatics to go up.
Was
No,
it
it was
both?
athletics both ways.
Yeah.
13.
Oh, okay. I
I
missed that.
rolled a 13 with advantage.
13's fine. So you
Yeah.
climb down the rope, you get down, and Tyler, you untie the rope and come down afterwards, are you?
Yeah, I got an 11.
Okay, you didn't roll advantage.
Mm-mm.
No, that's
Well,
fine.
no,
11
because I untie the rope.
Yeah, that's what I was checking. 11 is what you need, it's fine. So you are, it's kind of awkward getting down, but you are able to do it. There is a bit of a jump at the bottom, but you don't take damage from it. So you're back on the streets again. So I want you to both roll perception checks to try and catch up to or at least find the track of where these guys went.
Is that a straight roll?
Yes.
14.
Natural 20.
Oh my
Natural
god.
20.
25.
You see, you're listening around and you just hear kind of vague grumbling coming from a direction, and you start like running in that direction, like dragging Pebble with you.
Do we see it? Like, can we catch up, or do we
I
see
do
it?
kind of want to be like, I don't want them to see us, so I
No,
want to
yeah,
like
yeah, but-
get close, but then sort of stealth.
Are we gonna be
Yeah.
quick enough? Is the question.
You are moving. You running a little bit. You start to kind of their voices start to
Okay.
clarify. And you start to get a bit of a vision on them, but you can roll stealth checks at that time if you want to.
Yes,
Yes.
Do a bit more.
please.
So stealth checks from you both. You don't have disadvantage in that, do you, Tony?
14.
No.
Oh, okay.
I got an 18. Yeah, 18.
18.
Nice. 14.
Harley really wants to save this person.
Yay.
Yep. And what did you get, Pebble?
14.
14. Okay, let me just check something. What person are you trying to save? Sorry, what was that?
Well, okay, we're trying to follow them because they said they're going to try and kidnap somebody.
Mhm.
So we're trying to follow them to stop them from doing that
I
because they said
see.
they have to get to the train station. So if we follow them, in theory, we can foil their plans. Or if they don't find anybody, we'll just go to the train station anyway.
Yay.
Sure, I see your point. Don't want that. Go away. I'm trying to see what their passive perceptions are. Means I gotta find them in my dirt. Oh no, you're fine. Yeah, you are following, and they do not seem to notice that you are following them. So,
Cool.
um, how long are you following them for, or do you want to get closer? You would be aware that, like, time of night. I'd say Tali, you especially have a kind of almost intrinsic ability of feeling that it's close to midnight. You're probably like 10-15 minutes away from midnight.
Have they said anything more? Because obviously they were like grumbling about not being able to find anybody.
They are continually. One of them in particular continues to continue going like, "We're not gonna find anyone. This is pointless." And the other one's like, "Yeah, but I don't want to lose my tail for not trying."
How many are there? Like, can we see?
You see two of them. There is
only?
two.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you see these ones that are wearing this kind of scrappy armor. You see they have nets on the back. They seem to be the trappers you've seen before.
Again, no, fuck that. Don't want any of that. Tali probably wants to follow them until they give up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she's worried that they're gonna find somebody.
Okay.
Right.
I was gonna be a little bit heroic and
Yeah.
just to break it and say, "Hey, you found someone," and then fight. But no,
Can't want to.
no, we're following.
You follow them for a bit longer, and then you get to the point where you have to make a decision. Like, if you want to make it to the train station for midnight, you have to turn around, or you can keep pursuing them. They have not found someone in time to go to the train station.
So probably they might even be like deserting or something, like just not going to the train station in shame, going like, "Oops."
Possibly.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I guess we can maybe talk like in character talk about it. Like Tali's kind of saying, well, I don't want them to find anybody, but there's a chance that maybe another group was sent out and they might have found somebody. So maybe we should go to
Okay.
the train station.
Let's.
We need to
go.
find out who their boss is, right? That's right.
Yeah. Sounds
okay.
good. How long for the train station?
About 10 minutes away from the train
Gonna
station.
go
which
there.
is, if you leave now, you can just about make it.
Tali, can you walk quickly? As in, like, do you have any like magic that allows you to go quickly? Because I do.
Not to
Don't.
walk.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's a good point. Worth mentioning. Because you're limp, you are moving slower.
Oh.
And if you start running, you have a chance of falling over because you're limp.
Oh dear.
So even if magic was to make you move faster, it potentially risks you
Sure.
falling over.
Quick question. You know, let's say hypothetically,
Mhm.
one is flying, for like a, if you're flying for like a minute, how much ground could you cover? Like, because like obviously
Depends on the
minute is
speed in which you were flying.
not- 30 feet. Like, could we get closer?
So 30 feet alone, no. That's the exact same speed you'd be walking at, essentially, apart from your
Well,
limp.
yes.
But if you sprinted, for lack of a better term, while flying, you would not be at risk of falling over.
Ooh. All right. She's kind of looking like she's kind of umming and ahhing. She's like, you have to get there quickly, and yeah, my leg is not good. Okay, all right, okay, fine, okay, we'll go. And she kind of again, she kind of holds her holy symbol, sort of mutters to herself. And like those runes that were kind of lit up at the twilight time, they light up again. And her eyes go like a shimmering kind of like silver. And she gets 2 wings
Wow.
that kind of sprout out from her back. And they are, I don't know, I haven't thought about what they'd look like, but they're probably purple.
Nice.
Yes.
Imagine like kind of ethereal, like there's kind of a ghost.
Yeah.
They match with
I
your
always
hair.
kind of pictured that there would almost be like a nebula, like the Ouroboros, kind of like they just fade at the taper
like
at the. So they're almost like more physical in your shoulders, and then just fade into like the blues and like yellows and stuff like.
I like him. I like it.
Cool.
And
but
yeah.
Yeah.
How does
You
Pebble
see this
react?
before. It's just, well, I will say one thing, Pebble. This is where something clicks in, and you realise that Tali's not human. Tali is something known as a godling,
Oh.
and godlings are almost like children of angels. And an important question is how religious Pebble is, because if you are religious, if you follow the main religion, which is called the Abbey of Civility, you are almost tempted to drop to your knees, as you have basically there's an angel before you. Everything in the religion teaches you that you can't speak to a godling without them speaking to you first. You almost can't look at them without them giving permission. There is this kind of like overwhelming. If you are a follower, if you're not a follower, you can be like, oh, this is cool, but
Realistically speaking, what will Pebble
you likely, from the community you're from, yes, you probably were raised to believe in the Abbey of Civility. You wouldn't necessarily be, Christian but not going to church on Sunday kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
no. Okay.
yeah, basically it's you can fall on your knees in reverence if you want, but it's also this is your friend Tali. It could be a conflict if you want.
Pebble might have, because of his earlier life, Pebble might have been a little bit of a Pebble might have Pebble might have stopped believing in that.
Yeah.
So now that he sees,
Now there's
Tali,
proof.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's quite fair. Like the incident might have shaken your faith in the Abbey of Civility a little bit, and so this is a kind of a weird situation for you.
And I'm like, but how do I react?
Well, imagine probably like this. Probably there's kind of this just kind of shock, that you don't know what to do. But Tali, you might snap him out of it maybe.
One leg wants to kneel, the other one wants to run.
It's kind of twitching the leg
Pebble, yeah, I know. It's okay. It's okay.
I didn't even think you were real.
As Tali is speaking, there is like an echo to their voice now.
Oh. Nice touch.
I know this might be a lot for you, and that's okay. And we can talk about this at length. But right now, we need to find out more information to save the people. And it's okay. I give you permission to talk to me and all that. It's fine. We're fine. That we can I can carry you maybe if you're struggling to walk.
A quick question for meta question out of character. Are godlings good?
Yes. Yeah. Godlings
Always.
are. That is what the Abbey teaches you. They are the children of the gods. They basically they have the blood of the gods within them. They are saints, living saints. They are the best of the best.
Cool. So I
This
would
is
be like,
awesome.
I would be like,
all of the
Yeah.
stuff's coming out today.
Yeah.
Some polarizing characters going on in the party here.
I'd be I'd be like, no, yeah, this is great. I feel safe now. Let's go. I'd be like, yeah.
Flying, dashing, because I don't get long.
Yeah, so what I can say is, like, so Tali, you wouldn't be able to pick up Pebble because he's a bit big for that, but
No, it's
Pebble
fine.
can dash. Pebble
Yeah.
can run and you can fly along.
I can run along.
Yeah,
a lot.
so you basically blast through the street, so you're making way.
Fly
I should
low,
also-
yeah.
I should also say that in this form, Tali, you do emit light. So
Oh,
there's kind of
shit.
like this
Fine, it's fine because the
comet
thingy runs out.
flying through the streets.
The dark vision
I know.
sharing runs out in like in an hour. So yeah, I'm just like a saintly comet, just
Yeah.
like I'm, yeah,
Flying down the
Nice.
streets.
it's fine.
Lovely.
We're going to jump across to. I realize we're kind of running along. We might run a little bit later today, but we're going to Brass.
Fine,
Since you haven't
all
done
the,
much
all the
for a little while.
secrets. all the
Yeah, it's
secrets.
worth it. Brass, you, I will say for ease, you have chased down this man. You've got him pinned to the floor at this point. This guy's like, please don't eat me. I don't deserve this. I'll pay all my taxes. I'll pay them all. I promise. Just leave me alive.
Good.
It's clearly not Jack.
Brask will have like chased this man down in a not in a blind rage, but in a sort of blind sense of duty, yelling Chad the whole time, and so it'll take him a second to realize this isn't Chad.
Yeah, there's guys as you're
So
shouting.
like he might fully almost alien his jaws right open in his face like Chad.
Yeah, as you are yelling Chad between this man, is like, I don't have any Chad. I don't know what Chad is. I don't have any.
Then Brask will just be like, you're just gonna stand up, lift the person, and put them to one side. Just be like, oh, just immediately take off again in a different direction.
As you like put him to the side, the man is like saying like bone still, and like some of your bees like crawling on his face, and he's just like trying to resist doing anything. But like
This is normal.
watching the bees, you're gonna start running off.
Could the bees linger for a second until I
Yeah.
summon them to come after me?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you roll a perception check, Brass. Still with disadvantage because you're still drunk.
I have no clue where I am on the map as well.
I think our last
Okay.
session we were like, splitting the party didn't go well.
Yeah.
And so what do we do in the next session? We
Split
split the
the
party.
Yeah.
And the thing-
Absolutely.
The thing is, Brass, you don't know where you are on the map, and nor do I, because
That's cool.
Oh,
I
right.
got 7,
there's
so I
no map.
still don't know.
yeah, okay. You basically spend a lot of time with the rest of the evening kind of running around in circles. Is there anything you want to do, or are you going to head back?
I think he's going to be pretty single-minded and just head in a direction.
Okay.
So I guess he's like heading deeper into the city. Guess if Chad went south and these guys went west, then I was probably going east. So like
What?
somewhere there.
I'll tell you what I'll say. After a massive detour and a lot of time wasted, you do eventually come across Chad, who is sort of almost like solemnly making his way back to the pub.
With a grin. Or without.
I mean, that's up to
Question is, did Chad kill a poor man, or did he just like,
however
a little
Chad
bit
responds
leave him?
is for you to figure out. But yeah, you do find Chad. You see Chad
So,
wearing his
at this
red
point,
coat.
Brask will just be like, Chad! And he'll like run over to him and like lift him up. Be like, I forgot why I was looking for you, but I don't need to remember anymore because I found you.
Chad looks
Hey, but
looks
Brass is
like
colorblind.
he's
I want to see the blood.
gone.
Mhm.
Chad is in a
France.
fucking daze at this point. He's you notice that he's taken his boots off,
What?
and he's holding his boots because his boots are covered in blood.
But Brass will know the blood.
Colorblind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Brass, you smell
Oh.
blood. Chad is clearly
Oh.
injured.
Yeah.
Do I, because I was there for both, for like the other times he's been injured, do I know
Oh.
or could I sense whether it's Chad's blood or not?
Roll me a perception
Oh my
check
God, this is
with
so
disadvantage because you're drunk.
Yeah. Okay, so 21 on the first one. Let's try to get. Oh. 17.
Oh my
17,
god.
Oh.
This is not Chad's blood. You smell something else about this. What you smell actually in this blood, being although drunk, you do have a very acute sense of smell. Is it smells that kind of normal irony smell you get from blood, but there is kind of almost like an oily smell to the blood as well.
And
But yeah, it's very clearly not Chad's blood to you.
Oily like olive oil? Or like engine oil?
Chili oil, no, just
you
oil,
killed the
like
chef, you bastard.
machine oil, that kind of smell.
Oh, alright.
But it is clearly coming from this blood. It is a mixture of like iron and oil blood smell.
So Brask will just assume that Chad has been in some kind of battle whilst I've been looking for him.
Yeah.
And so he'll like the direction that Chad was coming from, he'll like put Chad behind him, just sort of stand ready, like, tell me of what you've been through, brother, or something like that.
Chad is. Chad starts to just burst into tears.
Aw.
Tears of what?
Whatever Chad.
Yeah, blood tears.
No, I mean tears of joy or tears of like
I think
anguish.
No, yeah, just not happy tears.
Oh right.
I think for you, Raz, you see that Chad is clearly been through some sort of traumatic fight. He escaped with just barely with his life.
Yeah, and he's not wearing armor or anything like that.
No.
So, like, I think Brask would kind of go from standing ready like this, looking away, and kind of turn, just let go of his dragon fang.
Yeah.
Like let that fall. He doesn't really care anymore.
Flambish at the
And
floor.
then, and he's just gonna pick him up, just start carrying him back to the tavern, and then like I guess after a beat, dragon fang will like catch up.
Yeah.
Attached to my back.
Dragonfang, after clambering the floor, just suddenly goes, wings up, and it just lands in your belt.
I'll just walk him back to the pub.
You come bring him back to the pub. As you arrive at the pub, like Berchard is gone, he's gone to sleep. You can take Chad up to his room and fight your way through the boxes of leeks and potatoes and like lay him down on the bed.
And now the leaks have
I think
tomato
Brask would
sauce.
almost like clean him off a little bit. Like he probably wouldn't do a particularly good job. He'd just sort of like stab him with something, like even if it's just like a bar towel or something like that.
There's probably still some wine sitting around, so you just make it worse. Like pour wine and like wipe it with wine and stuff like that.
Ew.
Yeah, and then he just, I guess, set him down somewhere.
Do you just like leave him in his room, or do you stay with him? Like,
I don't think I would put him in his room. I would put him in the corner of the bar, and then just sort of sit on a table nearby.
Okay, so you're staying with him is I think the point. Yeah, okay. Cool. So that's where your little ventures have brought you. Tali and Pebble racing through the streets like a little comet and stuff. On the map, you do make your way across to Lowbank Station. Basically, if you look at it, there is a field. You basically spring across this field, but you do approach
Things
the
do
station.
go away after like a minute, so I'm gonna guess like somewhere along the journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll say, for the sake of ease, that being able to fly for that time period has gotten you enough speed that when now you're hobbling again, but you do kind of make it in time. You are approaching this station, and Lowbank Station it's not a big station. It's kind of like a concrete platform and a small like covered thing. But you do see waiting in the station. There is one train. It looks to be this big, heavy like cargo train. These kind of big box like cargo containers, like 2 carriages and just the main train in front of it. As you're approaching, roll me perception checks.
Wow.
Yes. Do I get advantage because of the having me able to see very far? It's okay if not, but I'm gonna be cheeky now.
11.
No.
Ooh, it's fine. I don't need it. 21.
21. Okay.
11.
Don't use your hero moment with this Pebble.
No.
No. Okay.
But is Pebble not already used his hero moment
No.
on
I think
the
so.
No.
perception? When
No,
it was
but
like, hit this
that
thing
was
up for you?
that was
Just
not
rolled.
like
Just rolled
normal
advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So Pebble, you can't. You're still running. Like you're probably like sweat in your
Yeah.
eyes as you're running through the streets. Talia, as you're kind of approaching, you can see on the platform 2 figures, and you got 21.
Yeah.
You don't fully make. Like you can hear talking. You see one figure, this tall, matted third figure. You see that large Nervin brute that you fought.
Okay.
And standing across from him is a somewhat shorter figure, but you see what appears to be a well-dressed gentleman,
Oh.
dark hair, wearing this kind of like what's like a white coat with this kind of fur like lined collar. And there is like a heated debate going on between these two. And as you're approaching, you just watch this shouting, and it's kind of echoing through the streets.
What are you saying? Like
You
rough-
can't make it out. You can't make it out from from where you are. You need to get closer and closer to kind of do that. But you're worried if you get any closer, you might be seen.
So, I mean, we communicate, right? Talia,
You can
so
talk to each other, yeah.
You would have told me that. Can we be stealthy and try to?
Well, we have to just get a little closer. We gotta, they might have some information. I know it's risky. I know.
I'm gonna stealthily get close, and I'm gonna use my hero moment for the stealth check. I think.
Yes, well, you're small. You if you go.
As you're kind of almost like thinking about it, debating, like almost like Talia, there was a moment of anxiety going on as you're trying to like almost like paralyzed by what to do. Pebble, you start sneaking closer and closer. And as you do, you kind of like duck in behind, like almost like under a fence behind a bush, and you start to make out these 2 figures. And you can see that, again, you see that Nervin, but this man you see has like slicked black hair and what appears to be a scar through his left eye.
Mhm.
And the discussion is, it's like, you don't have the goods. It doesn't matter what our agreement was, you don't have them. And there's Nervin's like, you need to give us more time, they were stolen from us. Like, we have given you all the time required. If you do not have the final shipment, then you must try again. But there will be no final chances after the last. It's like, I need more time! Like, and this thing is just, this Nervin's get more and more frustrated, and you hear it start to go like, what is it? We'll expose you! Expose your lies! Expose what you're up to the city! And there's like, do you intend to threaten me? And this, you see this Nervin, it's just like, it doesn't know almost like what it's doing, it's just kind of like, hey, yeah! You give us the code now! And we want to expose you! And this is kind of like, a shame, we were doing great business. Pulls out a gun, and just, you watch as the Nervin just falls dead to the floor. This man just puts the gun back in his jacket. You watch as he puts his foot under the Nervin's corpse and kicks him onto the rails underneath the
course.
train.
Yeah.
And then just goes, "We're leaving!" And you watch as he just steps back onto the train.
Oh, so the train is like his. Okay.
Is there any distinctive features about the train that Talia can see? Like, is there a way that, if I saw the train again, like, recognize it? Like, can I
Roll
do anything about
me
it?
a perception check.
13.
13. This looks like a really, really understated like cargo train, almost intentionally so. Like there is just black and iron. But this man, he steps into like the actual front of the train, and you hear the whistle, and, woo, woo, and you watch as the train just starts. What you do?
Thank you, Will. That's a good train.
Dun 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 dun.
Sorry.
And you watch as the train makes its way sort of northwards towards the main city of Downbridge and into it.
Does it look like there's anybody else like on the platform? Like is there like a
There was
station
no
master?
one. No, there was a place for a station master, but there was no one
Yeah.
else on the platform.
Okay.
But that, I think, is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Cool. Very nice.
That was sick.
Lots of fun reveals in that one.
Very
Hey,
good. Oh, it's so
very,
yeah.
exciting.
That was.
What a
fantastic.
long day this is for our characters. Dear
Yeah.
God, so much has happened.
Yep.
Oh,
I
I'm so
love that.
excited.
I love that Tali is basically a siren from Borderlands.
Yes,
That's
kind of that
true.
thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's really cool. I love that Pebble has sort of gone on a
Journey.
volunteered to go on a little soiree, little dangerous little journey.
Yay. I like it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Pebble
So
and,
good.
and Talia are going to become like Batman and Robin.
Yay.
Nice.
Amazing.
Harley Robin, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Got the wings,
Oh.
you know,
Pebble is Batman.
obviously.
I don't know, like
Boulder
everything.
is Batman, and
Mm. Chad,
Yes.
what have you done, Chad?
Yeah, Chad! Why?
And
You're a
Brask,
bad
you
cop,
are
but you're
pure.
sad.
I like
Oh.
you. But yeah,
it's funny.
Chad,
I don't obviously you didn't pick up on it because you weren't paying attention to it, but a few times
Fine.
in the first 5
Yeah.
sessions, I did mention that there's a lot of blood there, Chad.
What?
Chad has multiple times been able to see in the dark, and has noted blood in various places. And he's very strong. I mean, he is just generally strong anyway, but he's very strong.
I
Nice.
don't even know what to do with that information, but I feel both like, God damn it, Chad, why'd you have to be so terrible? But then also, but you're so sad.
Mm.
Seems like we
Sad.
have both a vampire and an angel in the party.
Yep, that's
That's-
fine. That's definitely not gonna cause any. It's kind of fun though because Chad and Tani have this kind of like they don't
Destined.
get on, and it's even deeper than that. There's a deeper level to why they probably don't get on.
Very nice. Hey.
Pebble has his
So
like
good.
second form as well.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
have. Now we just
Jumbo
need
form.
Brask.
Pebble
We need
doesn't have a
Brask to have
second
a second
form.
form. Yeah.
Pebble doesn't have
Second
a
form is just a normal
Normal
guy.
form.
Oh right,
No,
that,
no,
tiny.
yeah. That was let's just say that wasn't Pebble's intent. Pebble didn't
Yep.
have
It was
any.
nice, isn't it? You
That
did not
was a
intend to
werewolf.
get big.
No.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah.
That was a
That's-
really fun session. That was
That was
great.
It was indeed.
And who the fuck
Yeah.
was the guy? The guy who just shot the nerve. Oh, it's spooky.
Yes. It was
Exciting.
Giovanni from Team Rocket.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that with the white guy.
Yeah, that was the inspiration for the Messers. It's just Team Rocket, guys,
Yeah.
ruining it for no. Um,
Anyway,
yes, and what obviously normally we do the inspiration token at this point, but because it was a birthday episode, we're gonna resume where we left off next time. So it'll go out to Pebble because you got it from last time. But I don't want to take away from the fun, so I'll say Will and Unai, what was your favourite moment from this session? Because it's nice to talk about it.
well.
After you.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's got to be. One second, I'm finding my better. Yeah, it's got to be the Fangy Fang moment because that got me like out of like. If you watch the stream when I switched to Chad's close up, it's like super late because I was like, no, nothing's gonna happen. Surely Chad is a normal human. And then I was like,
So
wow.
good, I completely didn't expect it. I was just, it's so good.
But yeah,
Me knowing what was coming, I was spending a lot of time watching like your face, especially Sarah, because you were like, at one point I was like, oh, they twigs.
I thought initially he was just gonna like smash his head against the wall or something, and like that was gonna be terrible. But this is somehow worse.
it is.
I thought you just like
Undoubtedly.
secretly really hated the poor.
Yeah, I was just like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
I
This
was
guy
like,
hates the
oh.
poor people.
I mean, he kind of does, doesn't
He
he?
does.
I mean,
It does, yeah.
To that point in the I think first episode or second episode when Chad was asking where the poor people congregate, and Tali, you're like, no, don't go. What are you doing, Chad?
Yeah, don't go. And I was right. Don't go there, Chad. because
You're
he's
right,
gonna
but
eat
not
them.
quite for the right reason. Okay, cool. And then Will, what was your favourite moment, or your best role play moment, or whatever?
I mean, the reveal of the wings
Yeah, that
was
beautiful.
just wicked. But it's between that and Brask hearing Chad slip over and coming out and
Brask is always
nearly
true.
messing up the entire sequence.
Yes. That
just
would have been
wonderful.
interesting.
And Brask just like picking him up and walking him home. It was just
So sweet. Yeah.
So sweet.
The big softy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Brask is very deeply ingrained in my heart. Then next session he's gonna, I don't know, murder some, I don't know, he's gonna reveal his second identity, and I'm gonna have a crisis, and it's good.
No, Pebble will have his faith restored. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. So good.
Okay, well, that is where we will end today's session. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I especially like this session. Lots of reveals about things that have been in the works. But we have been Small and Mighty, as always. And if you enjoyed this and you want to watch more of this, you can find us. You obviously find us here on Twitch. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be back. If you turn on notifications, you'll know when we go live and all that sort of nice stuff. If you want to rewatch any of our previous sessions or rewatch this session, you can find them on YouTube. Next weekend, this video will be up on YouTube. I'm also working on a little bit of a highlights video for our chapter 1 as well, for the first 5 episodes, which is almost ready. I wanted to have it ready by this point, but it wasn't quite there yet, so that's coming soon as well. You can also find us on Twitter at Smitey Games.
Yes.
If you want to hear what we're up to, see us tweet about stuff, tweet out clips, that sort of thing. But that's it. So yes, we've been Small and Mighty, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Thanks for commenting, guys, as well. Bye.